Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Boy. I'm your host, John Francis Fahey. I'm wearing my iced tea shit tonight.
Yeah, man.
I look real good.
I got news for you.
Yeah.
It means you're gay.
That's exactly right.
That's cool.
To my right is, of course, one of the prettiest men under the sun. I have here that a few fellows from our Discord server have
Fellas?
wanted to describe you as D Insider, lewd singer of Fisted Sister.
D Insider.
Yeah.
Lewd singer of
Fisted Sister.
Fisted Sister.
That's right.
So D Snyder,
Yes.
lead singer
Correct.
of Twisted Sister.
That's exactly right.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
It's like Wheel of Fortune in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Come on, feel the boys.
Yeah, dude.
Which
Now
one?
we're talking.
Hey,
Now,
boys, fuck your boys.
yeah. Now it's a fucking gumbo.
Yeah.
Now it's a gumbo.
We're cooking. Any
Cross-
other ones?
No, that's
Okay,
it.
That's pretty good.
How much do you want?
Now to my...
Stumblebird, shout out for that.
Yeah, he really goes for it, man.
I think this came
Can't
from
trust
actually.
You can't trust him.
He says, well, these are his exact words. He said, got another Discordian discharge for you. This is a combo platter from Southern Cyprus and Flash, who was previously known as Drain the Cock Johnson.
Right.
Of course. Of course.
That one is just so...
I mean, of course.
Drain the Cock Johnson.
These
if
are
you smell what the cock is cooking...
Oh,
these
God.
are our listeners.
Yeah. And of course, over here we got this handsome fellow. Who's
Oh, yeah, Napoleon Bonaparte.
Jesus Christ. That's good.
You like
Yeah,
Napoleon
that's
Bonaparte?
good.
Oh, I really
It's
do.
been sitting there.
Yeah.
Can't believe
that's
No.
a
it
boner
just
fart.
popped in my head today.
That's a boner fart.
And Marcelo was like, I think you guys have already done that one. I was like, no.
Absolutely
I
not.
was like, no,
doesn't-
I would
doesn't
remember
matter.
Napoleon Boner fart.
Yeah, because the idea of
A boner farting?
yeah, and your
Your
boner,
cock making a noise when
your-
you splash?
I think your boner also being farted out of an ass.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
It was like, hey, get out of here.
Bonjour!
Like, how good would it feel, maybe?
Farting a cock out?
Both ways, or getting your cock farted out.
Both. Yeah, pretty great.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We're
Great.
coming out
Yeah.
classy tonight,
Yeah.
folks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Classy episode, full.
full class, first class.
Uh-huh.
We got over here. This
First
is
class.
handsome Matt Brousseau.
That's right.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was a good idea.
It was.
Yeah. Come for Dwayne the Cock Johnson. Stay for Napoleon
Yeah.
Boner fart.
Yep. Anyway, we'll get into some serious history now. Matt, you're on the show tonight. Of course, folks, don't forget we got more of that good boner fart content over there on the Patreon.
Yeah.
We talked about dick size the world over
Uh-huh.
in the last episode.
Flaccid and erect.
Yes, we talked about Vincent Gallo and his crazy services.
Oh, God.
Placid and direct.
Off his sperm and other things. We had a real good time over there.
Yeah, we
so
did.
check it out. $5 a month, extra show per week.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt, you're on the show today. What do we got on the platter here?
On the platter, John.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're heading back to the Future 3,
Really?
Hey.
but not, just the time
Oh, 1885?
or so. The Wild West, gents.
I love it.
Nice.
Wyatt Earp's best friend, this man was.
Ooh.
The king of the Western gamblers, they called him.
Mm.
He's claimed to have killed 26 men.
Oh, my God.
In heat, they never say.
Mm.
Was he hard?
Yeah, was he in
In
heat?
heat? Like a dog?
No, like was it
Well, you
was
know.
it calculated or
Oh, like
or
a
was
crime
it
of passion, or was
Yeah.
it premeditated?
No, I meant like a dog.
Ah.
See, Aaron.
Oh.
Aaron's ready for this one.
Guess I'm just a fucking idiot over here.
But he lived a wild life of the end of the Wild West. He was the last of the true guys whose lives were changed in that old Wild West fortune before the buffalo were all killed and all the farmers moved in. Yeah, you can't have that.
Boring.
Yeah.
Back when the West was wild and not agricultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they shut down all the drinking
And whoring.
and whoring. Well, maybe not the whoring.
Killing.
Killing. Yeah.
All right, so unbelievably, I didn't believe it, but it's true.
Well, believe it now, motherfucker.
This man was born in Iberville, a province of Quebec.
No!
Yes.
Oh wow, it's another crazy Canuck.
True.
November 26, 1852. He was christened Bartholomew,
Oh.
but spelled French like Bartholomew.
Fucking weirdos.
He's the second son of 7 children. And at some point in 1861, when he was a young lad, his father decided he wanted to work the American farmland. So it took 10 years of stopping in various cities from Quebec all the way into Kansas.
Mm.
So I don't know if
10-year trip
Yeah,
to Kansas.
yeah.
Nice.
It's like the Wizard of Oz or something, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not in a hurry.
No.
Are we? There's 7 kids.
Well, I mean, one of them goes running off, then you're stuck there for a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, they won't shut the fuck up.
Oh God.
Gonna
Yeah.
have to ford the river.
You got to meet the locals and fuck them.
Yeah.
Leave some kids there.
Money
Right.
locals, wanna fuck you.
Farmers only. He didn't like his baptized name, so he renamed himself William Barclay Masterson, a.k.a. W.B. Masterson.
It's got something to it. I like it.
Yeah. And at some point, he figured it was time for him to leave home. There's too many kids, Go, get out of here.
It's too loud.
And he and made his way to Sedgwick, Kansas. Now, Sedgwick, Kansas in this time, this would be about 1870s, early 1870s, 1871, 1872. And Sedgwick, Kansas was the edge of the advancing white western frontier.
Tip of the spear.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The buffalo were running wild just miles west, and in the 1870s, the slaughter of the great herds was on.
Oh man.
When WB was 18, he traveled with his older brother Ed to make money in the buffalo hide game. You'd wear a rack of 6 guns and carry a shotgun for small game, and then to kill the beasts, you would use 50 caliber sharp carbines.
Sticks of dynamite up their butt.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a new Ken Burns documentary about the buffalo.
Well, he stole it from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Multi-part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he stole it from you?
Well, I mean, probably.
Typical.
Yeah.
Typical.
Buffalo.
Yeah. There were so many and then there were so little.
Now they're back.
You can skip. You can skip it.
Yeah, and just listen to the next 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you'll have it all. Now, the brothers, they worked as skinners. So what they would do is after all the buffalo was shot, they would approach the corpses, skin the hides, leave the bodies to rot in the sun, day after day, week after week. You just do it every day. And then when the sun went down, you'd go to camp, and you guys would all sit around and fart and get drunk.
And not eat that delicious buffalo meat.
Yeah,
Eating
right.
Beans.
Well, yeah, because there would much like any warring party, there would be just like wagons showing up, people with rot gut whiskey, food, prostitutes.
Yeah.
They would just be like, they'd just be riding camp to camp.
So they were just not eating the meat?
Nope.
No. Completely wasted.
That's so crazy.
Well, they weren't geniuses. They just needed the skins, John. Dragging that meat all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Wild.
Yeah, complete waste.
Yeah.
Just. So it was among this group of these buffalo skinners and the buffalo hunters that the workers and the lawmen of the western towns would emerge. And it was during this time that WB met his longtime great friend Wyatt Earp.
Hey.
He also did this, and they would be friends the rest of their lives. And he's probably the most famous of the western lawmen, Wyatt Earp.
Yes. Agreed.
Now, the Masterson brothers, they also found, I believe Jim was his older brother. They found, Ed. Yeah, Ed was his older brother. That's right. They found work grading the land between Fort Dodge and Buffalo City. Now, Buffalo City was newly established. They were trying to lay down roads. Fort Dodge was a fort near Sedgwick, Kansas. I'll show you a map in a little bit. And that was just for a military outpost. And so what would happen, the military put an outpost, someone would come along, try to start a town, and then if it went well enough, all of these workers would come in, feed money into the town, and then eventually become a part of the country.
Yes.
And
And all Sedgwick had to do was become an entertainer.
Yeah.
Every time you say it, I'm just saying the entertainer.
Yeah.
Billy Joel song.
The entertainer.
So they had a job grading the land between Fort Dodge and Buffalo City. So roads were being laid down, steel tracks were being tamped into the land for a train to stop directly at Buffalo City, which would soon change its name to Dodge City, and 4 years later to Dodge.
And then that's where you get the fuck out of.
Yes.
That's right. Here is a picture of the location of Dodge City, in case you guys wanted a gander.
Smack dab in the middle, huh?
It really is, huh? Wow.
Yeah, right off the Arkansas River. They had a little bit of river, and they had a train coming in.
Yeah.
You have a train coming in, pretty good time.
Yeah.
Folks, this is just north of where the finger meets the fist in Oklahoma. If you know what I mean by that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that from the Jules River?
No, it's
Yeah, I guess.
it's just look.
Yeah.
I see like two, like that. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
On the corner of Sheridan and Bryant. Tip of the penis, side of penis.
Yes.
Tip of the penis, side of the penis.
Side of penis, side of penis. On and on and on into infinity.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in Nebraska. Oh, excuse me, Kansas.
Kansas.
Sorry.
Kansas.
So yeah, folks, or if you make a pointing finger with your fist like Oklahoma is, it's just north of where the base of the index finger would
Would that be a panhandle?
That would be a panhandle.
Very
I'm
good.
afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid so.
I mean, because it looks like the handle of a pan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You said it. You said
Mhm.
it.
These map guys.
I don't
Good
know why
thinkers.
I said that whole finger fist thing. That was weird.
I
You're
like.
from Florida. You should know panhandle. I
Well-
didn't know what a panhandle was until like
Well,
6 months
maybe
ago.
all of his pans didn't have handles.
Yeah.
Because
He was
it's
a
the
Dutch
Florida
oven guy.
yeah. We used to have to wing it.
They're right there at on the hot plate, right on the corner of the microwave there in Oklahoma. Right there, the base of the bent spoon that I cook my heroin with. Right there.
Kansas actually would look like a microwave, so it's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
That's true. Yeah. So they in between hunts they did this road grading. The employer for the road gave them partial payment and then ran back east before the brothers had realized that he wasn't coming back. He was like, "I'll see you." 1 second.
Thanks for building this railroad so I can skedaddle.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta go think.
Well, it's just a regular road for wagons and such, but
Okay.
still important. You can't have holes everywhere.
Mm.
So they went back to buffalo hunting, and they worked for a man named Tom Nixon. So Tom Nixon was a bulk buffalo killer above them all. He once killed 120 in 40 minutes.
Jesus Christ!
He bragged
What
of,
did you drive him off a fucking cliff?
with a gun. Well, he shot him. He didn't drive him off the cliff.
He shot them with guns.
Yeah.
Damn.
You get a little good repeater, a little carbine. And
That's wild.
and they're
He must have dressed like a really hot female buffalo, and then just had a knife. These fucking guys keep coming.
Oh, I
They're dying to fuck me.
I thought-
Slit.
thought Jeff was with her. Is he not? Oh, my turn.
You're next, big boy.
I am going to enjoy this. They just talk like that.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know what they talk like.
They talk like a brave people.
Yeah.
No.
That's what you made it sound
No,
like.
I was trying to be that
No,
stunt.
that's exactly what you did.
I was the stunt guy from the last episode.
Oh,
The idiot California
from Buffalo?
guy.
Oh.
okay, got it.
Well, you guys took it there.
To Buffalo? Buffalo.
No, just talk like someone from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, God.
Good enough. So Tom Nixon, here's another stat from him. He once bragged about killing 3,200 in 35 days.
3,200?
In 35 days.
I don't think I've killed 3,200 anything's cumulatively, like bugs,
No.
Yeah.
mainly bugs,
Baby bugs. A lifetime. of
intestinal bacteria,
bugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
on a good dose of antibiotics. Maybe if
Yeah.
I'm getting close to how many.
Audiences.
creatures.
Audiences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slade there.
yeah, huh?
At this time, it was estimated that over 10,000 men hunted buffalo on the plains. It's a great slaughter, they called it, as you can imagine.
It's great slaughter.
Orlando Bond killed 300 a day. Josiah Moore killed over 20,000 in 9 years. Just for reference for you guys, here's
How much were they selling for? Like, were they really moving?
well the
How much money was in this?
less and less.
Yeah,
because there
there's
were so
too
many.
many people doing it.
But then you just kill more.
Well, I think there was a demand for the
hides,
and maybe the tongue too.
Yeah, maybe the tongue.
would it have overseas?
No, I think they were using it. A lot of it was not just leather for leather goods, but like a lot of like the belts for new machinerery
Oh,
were made from
that makes
leather.
sense. Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that would it coincided with some of that industrial, I guess post-war industrial boom
Yeah.
that
makes sense.
they needed the leather to run like the belts for the.
that was honestly a
looms or-
very good tidbit.
Mm.
That was a good tidbit.
But you don't know if it's true. It's good. It's a.
No, I learned it from a 5-minute interview with Ken Burns.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Oh, so you saw that. Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. there we go.
Perfect. Well done.
So what you doing? Pause this right now and go watch 10 hours of fucking bullshit Ken Burns with his stupid little Twinkie haircut.
Oh my God.
Have you seen his hair? Have you seen his hair?
No.
Looks like Prince Valiant. Like Prince Valium. Boring.
Wow.
Wow.
Jesus.
I saw
Snooze
Snooze
fest.
recently.
Buffalo.
Here's a picture of the range over the years. So in the tan you have the early 1800s, and then in the brown you have the 1870s, and in the black you have
Those were that was the range of the buffalo.
Yeah.
As time went.
yeah, as the slaughter happened.
Yeah. It seems like it significantly dropped.
Yeah. Well, let's see, if you're not running them, if they're not running, they're all just standing still. Just shoot them in the head.
Dude,
It's
so crazy. It's so many.
They would just stand on a hill and just shoot buffalo for hours on end.
So the buffalo were not too worried about this. They were like just chilling, I guess. Or
I mean,
they-
I'm sure they did run too after some got shot and some loud noises or something.
they
But
must have,
Stampedes and whatnot.
yeah,
They must be pretty stupid. Let's be real. Come on.
yeah, they-
But,
yeah. they're-
beautiful creatures.
Yeah.
Big face.
Yeah. Look like
Nice
they're
big
fucking
face.
Living on the desert planet of Tatooine.
They do. They look fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They look wise though. You're right.
So now there were 4 Masterson boys working the plains, and when winter pulled in, they all left except for WB. He stayed in Dodge. Town now over 1,000 people because of the action. Had a row of businesses surrounded by tents, a whole pile of cattle. Smelled like shit,
Yeah.
but
Felt like heaven.
well, in the first year, so at night, all these guys with guns would go in and drink and gamble and carouse and fight.
Yeah, Gallivant.
Yeah. And dance, link arms, dance in the streets, kicking up mud.
Kicking up dust, giving a motherfuck.
Yeah. Snapping their fingers, blinking their eyes at each other.
I killed thousands of them beasts in these hills here. I killed tens of thousands.
I'm covered in buffalo guts. I smell like shit. Who wants to fuck me?
Now, so in the first year of Dodge City, 25 men were killed and over 50 were wounded.
By buffalo?
No, if only. Maybe they would have rethought.
By each other.
Yeah.
Mm.
There was no law, the closest place with authorities being 95 miles northeast. And eventually the saloons and the gamblers put together a fund to hire a marshal.
Whoa.
It's really incredible that.
There was no law.
Yeah, you
It's
could
just
just
not-
go out and start a town in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, I was
And, like,
thinking.
Even if somebody news traveled so slow that for any sort of authority to come get to you, it'd take forever. You could do what you want for
We could start a whole new thing.
It could be like a Lord of the Flies situation.
Do
Look
what?
at that pile of shit. There's flies everywhere. We got half the recipe here.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Nighttime is the right time.
Fuck the sun, long live the beast. Hey, let's have sex with that pile of shit over there.
Me first. I don't know why they call this number 2. I think that's pretty good shit.
Oh my God.
So,
That's not a piece of shit. That's my sister.
How do you think? So the saloon keepers, you said, take up the fund to start the show.
and the gamblers.
And the gamblers.
Yeah.
because they got to protect their winnings and their ill-gotten gains.
Yeah,
Come on, give me it back.
Well, they win a table. They win they strip someone of all their money.
Yeah.
And they're like, now I'm gonna go to the hotel and not worry about someone
People
fucking
just following me back. There's 10 of us.
Yeah.
They could just follow me down that 10 feet where I sleep behind 4 planks.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's barely a wall.
If there was, where the statehood was, where there was the, the rule of law from Washington or whatever. But if you knew a guy that was like in a deadwood, and then he came back, you'd be like, "That was wild, huh?" You'd be like, "What'd you get up to over there?"
Yeah, it's like the ultimate Vegas was everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
Would you? No, so
I killed people. I used to kill people.
Yeah, do you think you would behave like if you're back then and you go to one of these fucking towns where you, like you said, no law,
No law.
Yeah, 95 miles.
no morality?
I don't know.
I mean, I assume so. I usually behave now.
Yeah, because there's a law, the rule of law.
That's not why.
Yeah,
I understand that, and I agree with you. But would you be tempted?
Well, I mean, yeah, if some guy just won all my money from me, I'd chase him down and beat him to death.
Really?
I'd eat his brains.
Oh my God!
We would at least break each other's stuff more.
That's the kind of guy you are.
I just could see us being like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill anybody, but I am gonna break his shit.
Just cause?
Just know if somebody like fucked you over or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We
You got to do something
I would like to think that we're good enough that we would not kill each other
immediately.
but we would fuck each other's stuff up.
Yeah.
That's my
Okay.
That's my gray version of what I think anarchy would be like.
If you stole a man's horse, he would kill you. So
That's
just
true.
don't fuck up the wrong things. I'll pull this up for you. Here's early Dodge. This is about 4 or 5 years into the city, maybe.
We can only afford one side of the street.
Unfortunately, it was on the wrong side of the tracks. We fucked up.
We'd all be over here. A lot of times we get taken from the rear. We never learned. There were no windows in the back of these buildings.
There was no back to the building. We can only afford 3 walls. And it was either a roof or a 4th wall. Well,
we can either have a 4th wall or 2 tiny doors on that entryway.
then one thing like you can't call yourself a Western saloon without them saloon doors.
Yeah. Gives you a great big dramatic entrance.
That's right.
Looks like you're pushing through a dollhouse.
Well, I wonder if it was just you didn't have to build as many walls if you built it next to someone who had a wall.
Of course, yeah. It's an efficient way to build a town.
Yeah.
Plus no back.
Plus, no alleys to get fucked around it.
Well, next to the whorehouse.
My
though.
God.
But I guess the whole town is
He
an
shook his
alley.
hips at that.
Yeah, it is. It's half an alley.
Oh God.
So the saloons and the gamblers, they put together a fund to hire a marshal. The first man they hired was Bill Bully Brooks. In his first month on the job, he killed or wounded 15 men.
Jesus, that's 15% of the population.
Yeah, he sounds like a bully.
Yeah. Friends.
How many people were there?
1,000. So it was
1,000,
1.5%.
Damn.
But by one guy.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
That old bully.
And friends of the men that he killed or wounded, they started shooting at him. And after being shot at enough, he said, fuck this, and he just left.
Wow. Got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And so instead of a marshal, a vigilante committee was formed.
Like the Justice League?
Well-
or the Avengers?
What happens when you form a
boys?
vigilante committee out of this group of people is that the guys who take the job shouldn't have the
Yeah, it's
job.
basically just a gang.
Yeah.
We operate mainly on rumor.
Vigilante committee. I think the name for that is mob.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have that back then.
Yeah. No Italians around here. We prefer to call it a vigilante committee.
Yeah. Like-minded individuals.
Yeah. Psychopath.
Deviants.
Rapists.
Do without will.
So, for one instance, a man shot a gun at a dance hall, and so they just killed him.
They were playing reggae?
In another moment, they harassed a man at a bar and chased him down the street and then shot at him, wounded him, and then walking up to him in order to not be caught, one of the vigilantes turned to another one and said, "I better shoot him again, hadn't I, boys?" And then put a bullet through his head.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
After months of this, members of the vigilante committee, they also killed William Taylor, who's a black restaurant owner.
Oh.
They tried to get him. They tried to shake him down. He wouldn't go up for it, and so they killed him.
Oh, my God.
Not good.
Oh,
And Taylor, the one thing, though, is that Taylor was the personal cook for Major, a man named Richard Dodge, who was the commanding officer at Fort Dodge, which I don't think is named after him.
Okay.
After a different Dodge, but a lot of Dodges.
It
back then.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He was the
A lot of
personal chef to this guy.
yeah.
There was a lot of confusion over that. Mr. Dodge himself came down here. We was all shit. We thought it was just a place.
No relation.
So Major Dodge, he wires the governor of Kansas about the murder, and he says, we got to do something. So the governor says, just surround the town and take control of it.
Cool.
So the army moves in and surrounds the town, takes over. Major Dodge arrests 5 of the most vicious vigilantes. So there's an election held for sheriff of the county. Dodge is part of Ford County. It was 1873, and after the winter, the buffalo hunting returned, but the herds had been exterminated all the way from Kansas to Texas, with the exception of the herds on what was known as Indian land. And Masterson would later write, Bat Masterson, that the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes had been hunting on American ground and broken their treating, so the white guys didn't feel so bad about going and killing all the buffalo on Indian land. Masterson went out as buffalo hunting. He was surrounded by a group of Cheyennes while he was skinning a buffalo. They took his guns and ran him off. In retaliation, he and a friend raided a Cheyenne camp and drove off 150 horses, running them to Dodge, where they sold them for $1,200, about $30,000.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Yeah. In March of 74, he joins a group of hunters heading into the Texas Panhandle, to kill buffalo. He was only 21 at the time. He had been on the plains for about 3 years, and he was now just a regular among all the dudes.
Yeah.
They settled in a place called Adobe Walls and built with 27 other men, and they built a settlement. They planned to stay there for the entire hunting season, but in May they were attacked by a group of at least 200 Indians made up of Kiowas, Cheyenne, and Comanches.
Cool. Jesus.
Later, some people would say 700, but who's to say? Anyone not in the fort at the time was killed.
Anyone not in the fort was killed?
Yeah. Wow. The fight lasted all afternoon, but because they had a fort, they had a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And
Walls.
The only death that they suffered was when one of the men, seeing the warriors arrive, went to go tell everybody and slipped while running down a ladder and shot himself in the face.
Oh, my God.
Imagine seeing that.
Can you imagine him feeling that? Like, whoa, I'm losing my footing here. Shit, I'm falling. This is going to hurt. No, psych. I'll never feel anything ever again.
Maybe this gun will break my fall.
Let me just loop my toe around the trigger here.
I know anything about gravity.
Soften my landing with the trigger mechanism.
Yeah, I'll shoot the gun.
That
slow me
each
down.
give will really help.
I better tighten around this trigger. I wouldn't like to break my hand. A ladder and a gun and slipping? Don't tell me you farted, too. Farted out a fucking boner, this guy.
Dude, he farted out of his face.
Now, Masterson, there was no record of who killed how many or whatnot. He would say that some of the men that were fighting, at least one of them was this young kid who rode up, running around, like just somehow not getting hit, gets to the walls, puts his gun into a hole in the walls, and just starts firing. Gun finishes, speeds around, runs off, and then as he's running off, he gets shot. He staggers down and offs himself. And Masterson goes, "This guy is the most courage I've ever fucking seen. This is insane."
The most what?
Courage.
Courage
Yeah.
is what you would call that?
Well, it was a different time.
A guy that sticks his hand blindly into a wall, kills whoever is inside. Could be a baby.
No, it was in the fort. You know, it was in the wall of the fort.
Then he runs away and kills himself.
Well, because he got
He's
shot.
The most courageous.
He got shot and was wounded.
And then
he
was the most courageous. Who was the second most courageous guy he ever seen? The guy that fell down the ladder and shot himself in the fucking face. Because he was injured too.
Well,
I better end it.
Oh no!
I'd rather die on my feet than on my knees.
No, the latter guy died from the gunshot.
No, we know.
Yeah,
we know. But if he fell, he would have been hurt, and he didn't want to carry on that way, so he just ended it.
Yeah.
In fact, he was more courageous because he did it before he even had the chance to do it.
Bravest man I ever saw, hands down. Case closed.
Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't want to live in a world where I took a spill like that. Imagine the humiliation.
I wouldn't want the world to host a poor sap like me.
I wouldn't want them to remember me that way. Remember that time he fell down? Poor son of a bitch. Fuck this!
The third most.
No, he got
That Jeffrey Epstein fella.
he got shot off the horse. He was gravely wounded.
No, yeah. He was brave.
Yeah, and it's, you get real wounded like that, there's probably no coming back.
Yeah.
You got gangrene, you're going to be a burden to other folks.
Or, it's
It's going to hurt real bad.
Yeah.
Be caught by the white folk.
Yeah, God knows what they'll do.
Let me tell you what's a waste, though. You got to yell something funny before you do it.
What's this thing do?
This ladder's awfully...
Or just go, fuck the bullshit. Something, you know what I mean? Like a cool saying. Like
Shoots and ladders. Huh?
Hasta la vista, baby.
But there eventually the news spread. There were the group attacked and then attacked again and then eventually fell back. It was an attempt to basically just drive off the white people.
Yeah.
Because they had broken the treaty and taking land and they were killing other buffalo, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the news spread and various hunting parties then showed up to the fort. And they would amass over 100 men. They could have been 101, but they were not attacked again. Though eventually Masterson and a group returned to Dodge and got the army to come back with them, and to attempt to clear the panhandle of the natives. And they stopped off in Sweetwater, Texas, just south of the panhandle.
Ooh-wee.
And by this point now, Masterson had he had a dark mustache. He was well known throughout the area. Here's a picture of him from about 3 years later.
From the June 1878 issue of Playgirl.
Mm-hmm. This is why they call me Bat. As you can see down here, it's not about this handlebar mustache as it is this panhandle prick. Mind if I hang this up here?
I've clubbed 36 buffalo and 2 baby seals with this baseball bat right here. Oh, looks like Tarantino.
Looks like Tarantino?
I mean, it's very fuzzy, but...
Yeah, sure. I mean...
I don't know, man. I just said that.
Yeah, he looks like a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks funny. He looks like he's a character.
Yeah. Doesn't you look? That hat makes him look a little bit like a dandy. He's wearing the fucking Seamus McFly.
Well, I think it just shows that he's got a bit of coin. Would that be correct, Matt?
Yeah, in this picture.
Yeah.
1879.
Now, would he have a bit of coin because of the Buffalo trade or things that are 3 years in the future?
Things that are in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not rich yet, or ever necessarily was, but
Barely a coin between my names.
He's there in his buffalo stance, I guess.
and they he also had piercing blue eyes, I believe.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a lip piercing.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit a couple gauges, Prince Albert. Septum ring.
What are y'all looking at?
That's the most dangerous things you could get back there.
I know. They're like, what's this fella about over here?
Pour some whiskey on it to kill the stuff. So there's Sweetwater, Texas. He has the dark mustache, and he's well known throughout the area. And real caterpillar of a mustache, big fat. And so he takes up gambling and drinking and whoring.
Cool.
Oh, he takes it up, does he?
Yeah, as you
selling
do.
his body for money.
Feels so fucking good.
Nice.
And he would say, well, these activities, they would almost cost him his life. He would say years later that he didn't like when things got too quiet. Because if they stay too quiet for long, after a while, then they go, as he said, lickety-bang. They really, just constant, slow, small chaos.
Yeah.
It's better than calm.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then it just blows up. In these areas, it would be quiet for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden there'd be like 4 weeks of just madness.
Yeah, there's no law.
Yeah.
I better go stir up some trouble, otherwise somebody will sneak up and
Stir
kill
up
me.
some trouble.
Exactly. Now, WB, he was Masterson there. He was friends with the owner of a saloon in Sweetwater called the Lady Gay. And when it closed, he would entertain a lady there. So he was friends with the owner, and when the place would close, WB would entertain a lady friend there.
Get a prostitute, probably?
No. She was a local entertainer.
Okay, cool.
And he would entertain a lady there.
Yeah.
Sedgwick.
Didn't you see the name on the sign? The Lady Gay, fella. Leave her alone. This is the kind of place that ladies can drink and be proud lesbians and not harangued by the likes of you.
The Lady Gay.
The Lady Gay. Back off.
Or I thought it was owned by a Chinese guy, maybe. The Lady Gay.
And so there was a local tough named Sergeant King.
Whoa.
And he was a gambler, and he'd thrown, quote, thrown a brand on this lady,
Really?
as they call it. That just means he marked her. He called her.
Oh, he said dibs, tap, tap.
Yeah.
He didn't really actually, like, put them.
No, he didn't
Okay.
actually brand her.
Yeah.
No
No
put it
take
past
backs.
And so he heard that that WB had been hanging out with this lady after hours in this bar. So he kicked in the door and shot, and the lady jumped in front of WB.
Oh.
The bullet went through her, hit WB right in the groin, pelvis area.
Okay. All right.
Hit WB in the groin?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Yes.
Like when RoboCop shot through that lady's crotch and it hit those guys in the dicks and it exploded?
I
CDR move greet?
Yeah.
mean, yeah, let's say yes.
This
Just-
seems like a RoboCop
yeah.
guy.
And then as WB was falling, he pulled out his gun, took one shot, hit the man in the heart, killed him instantly. And
Lady die?
a local doctor showed up, pronounced the lady, and WB said, "No chance. They're both done." And she died shortly after. WB's friends brought him to a different, better doctor
One who tried.
who took the bullet out
Yeah.
and just nursed him back until he
Yeah.
could walk again.
One that hadn't been drinking for 3 days.
I don't know.
It's all over.
The lady die. The lady gay.
Oh my God.
Hit him in the groin. Do we know,
Yeah.
like, the groin muscle?
They just groin. I mean, I don't know how the bullet was taken out of his pelvis.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
This-
It didn't, like, go up his urethras.
We don't think so. We don't think so.
It'd be cool if it did.
we don't think so.
We don't think so at this
Okay.
point.
At this juncture.
At this point,
Yeah.
we will see.
We will
If
see.
New
We're
info.
We're not ruling it out. I'm just asking
We
questions.
will find out.
Just asking
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. After this.
In spring of 1876, Masterson, he went back to Dodge City. Now Dodge is 2 years old, bustling with money from the cattle in Buffalo, and
Boring. Huh?
Uh-huh.
and then that summer would bring the Texans,
Oh.
and that's no good.
No.
You don't want
No.
the Texans.
Uh-uh.
Regular Cowboys, they spend money. That's fine.
Yeah.
The Texans,
These
not
though.
Texas
Not,
folk.
not these fucking shit kickers.
Here's
What happened?
Sorry to all of our Texan fans. I don't have anything against them.
here's the editor of the Dodge City Times writing about what the Cowboys thought of the Texans. A gay and festive Texas boy, like all true sons of the Lone Star State, loves to fondle and practice with his revolver in open air.
Huh.
Aside from the general pleasure derived from shooting, the Texas boy makes shooting inside the corporate limits of any town or city a specialty. He loves to see the inhabitants rushing wildly around to, quote, see what all the shooting is about, unquote. It tickles his heart to the very core to see City Marshal coming towards him at a distance while he was safe and securely mounted on his pony, ready to skip town and away from the officer.
So is he saying that these Texans like their guns?
And they like to just make trouble and then just, like, kind of be, like, pussies about it, like, run away.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I don't know.
So the Texans would come into town. They would shoot at signs, shoot at lights. They would try to shoot hats off people's heads. And it was making folks, quote, uneasy.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
It'll do that.
Bullets are whirring around.
Yeah.
Imagine your whole gigantic state was known for being fucking idiots.
Imagine.
Woo-wee!
You're done.
We're from Texas, the Alamo, and all that shit. All that shit.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you got your hat on. Now you don't. What are you, stupid or something? Bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, shit, here's the cops. Let's get out of here.
Fuck.
Run away.
And then we'll kill ourselves.
They'll sing songs about us.
So by now Dodge had a mayor and a sheriff, but the power brokers in town decided to form a group called the Dodge City Gang, just in case, to keep all the extra.
It sounds like
stuff
that's
done.
the problem. They keep forming these gangs.
Well, they had the vigilante group, but they were disbanded for the sheriff.
Yeah.
We replaced it with something better, a gang.
Shorter, easier to pronounce.
Even the Texans could say it.
Yep.
And so they, the mayor and the gang, they wrote down 6 provisions that need to be implemented in Dodge, and here they are. 1, animals are barred from the sidewalks. 2, prohibited the riding of animals into places of business.
They had sidewalks?
Probably like walkways,
Like the board,
sidewalk.
like the wood sidewalk.
Yeah, because if it rained, at least you fucking didn't
Yeah,
stay in
yeah.
the mud the whole
Falling face first
Yeah.
into a bunch of horse dung and
Yeah.
piss.
Especially in the businesses. They had to, number
Yeah.
2, prohibited the riding of animals places of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What
Can't
the
ride a
hell?
horse into this bar.
Yeah.
Even if the horse drinks, he can't
Yeah.
take him
The lady gay.
in. Prohibited the discharge of firearms within the corporate limits, other than those empowered to employ same, except on 4th of July, Christmas, New Year's Day, and the evenings preceded the holidays.
Yeah.
The Texans did not like that kind of gun control. No.
Sounds like Nazi Germany.
You'll see.
Let's get out of here. They're fascists. Woo!
No, they're. Whoa.
Mm.
Oh my God.
They also, oh, sorry, I forgot
Yeah.
that. Ban the carrying of firearms within the city limits by persons other than peace officers or persons actually proceeding into or out of town. So you could go into town with a gun, but you had to check it at a bar or like a gun shop, or you could check it with the sheriff. If you
Sheriff
want to.
Strickland, if you're in Hill Valley.
Mhm.
You got to check your firearms before you go to the hoedown.
Oh, yes, that's true.
That's right.
Good point, Aaron. I'm glad you brought that up.
That documentary, Back to the Future 3.
Number 5, required all visitors to check firearms immediately upon arrivals at racks to be provided at hotels, corrals, stores, saloons. Forbade the proprietors of these establishments to return weapons so checked to owners who were intoxicated.
Smart.
Yeah, right?
Don't give the gun back to the drunk guy.
Number 6, dealt with public intoxication and, quote, offenses against order and decency, unquote, not covered by the other 5.
Oh.
So those are the rules of Dodge.
Pretty good rules. I
Yeah.
mean, who needs 10 commandments? You got 6 rules of Dodge.
Yeah.
Not bad. Could be better, could be worse. So,
Could be better.
the first man appointed marshal was a 300-pound saloon keeper. He didn't do a lot of chasing
Yeah. Except shots.
or fighting. Yeah.
Pickleback.
And he hired an assistant marshal. That man was run out of town by this unsavory people. So the mayor telegraphed for Wyatt Earp, and Wyatt Earp showed up and became assistant marshal, and he brought on WB for help
Okay.
in the area.
Cool. All right.
All right, now we're cooking.
All
Yeah.
right.
And so at the time, because you you couldn't just always, if you had a problem, a lot of people had problems with Wyatt Earp because he would arrest people.
Oh yeah,
Doing his job.
Yeah, and or you know, maybe he embarrassed your friend or something, right?
yeah.
And so because you weren't allowed to just, if you rode in just with your gun obviously out, you know, people would be ready for that. At least the sheriffs and the marshals. But so one way you could settle a problem with Wyatt Earp is you walked up to him and say, "I have a problem with you. We're gonna fight," and then you would fist fight him.
Dude, that's cool.
What?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's like dueling.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's
But
very,
better.
Yeah, no, it's much better. So what happens if they win?
Well, they don't become sheriff or anything. They just say they feel good.
I'm the king of the shit heap.
I'm Lord of the Flies.
I pissed on the sheriff.
Yeah, they could do that.
Fucked his wife.
Man,
He loved it.
man, squeal like a piggy right there in front of the Undertaker.
And so one of the things WB had to do was he basically just covered Wyatt Earp while the fighting was happening. Like if he was getting the upper hand, he was like, yeah, he was hanging around to make sure that none of the other guy's friends came in and tried to either they had a concealed gun,
Yeah.
or they wanted to come in and beat him up. So WB would stand around just with his gun out, you know.
Let him
being like,
finish. Let
yeah.
him finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Everybody chill out.
And Wyatt Earp apparently was a fantastic fighter.
I
and
bet.
very rarely lost these fights.
You don't make that the rule of your town unless
Yeah.
you're pretty confident that you might win a few.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was around this time that WB injured his leg and had to walk with a cane. And it is rumored, but not true, that he got his nickname Bat from hitting someone over the head. He would hit drunks over the head with the cane in order to stop him.
Shut up, stupid.
Yeah.
McFly!
Yeah.
Oh, I got you this one.
So it wasn't his prodigious member. That was the nickname.
No, and it also wasn't the cane. It was just the shortening of Bartholomew.
All right, fine.
Bartholomew.
But maybe, maybe someone saw him with a cane and they knew his name was Bartholomew and they put two and
Bat.
two together and, who knows?
Sure.
I do believe he writes about it later and says it's a shortening of Bartholomew, but, he could be wrong. He doesn't know how cool his friends are. So, it was also around this time that Ned Buntline, if you remember him from one of our earlier episodes.
Of course,
Yeah.
He wrote a completely false story about presenting all the lawmen of Dodge with their own personal gun, each inscribed with, quote, Ned on it. But apparently the revolver company, I believe it was Springfield Revolver Company, they have
Sponsor the
written history of all of the guns they ever made.
show. Wow.
And so people would write to them going, hey, can you make me a gun? And there's no record of Buntline doing that.
Give me 100 Neds.
But there is a record of Bat Masterson writing them and going like, hey, can you just adjust the grip this way? Can you make me a gun that has this little tweak on it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so he had one gun that was his personal gun for most of his life after writing to them, and they made him like a personal, like,
wow.
yeah. It's like a hockey player. He's like, can you curve the stick a little bit? Yeah.
Just the various idiosyncrasies of my hand whilst I'm murdering people.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could have a little place where I could hang my Hello Kitty charm from the barrel.
This one stops me from shooting myself if I slip on a ladder.
It's got a safety mechanism.
A lot of people don't know about this one. Yeah.
And this little ditty right here, it'll automatically discharge in my skull if I'm wounded in battle.
I call it Mr. Courageous.
Mhm. The courage maker.
Yeah, that's better. So even though Bat was assisting Earp, he wasn't just always following the. He still gave his friends a little bit of leeway.
Uh-huh.
So one night, his friend Bobby Gill, a.k.a. Robert Gilmore, got a little too drunk and was causing a ruckus in one of the saloons. So that big 300-pound marshal,
Oh, Lord, he coming.
he pulled him out and ordered him to jail. And as he was going to jail, he started kicking him in the ass. And so Bat saw this and got the big 300-pound marshal in a headlock, and they all had a fight.
Uh-oh.
and just to get his friend free, and then bystanders start taking their guns out.
I don't want to get involved, but
I guess.
fuck it.
We're all dead soon anyway.
One day a real rain will come.
Wash away these dirt roads.
Get all this fucking rancid buffalo flesh.
And so they got in a tussle, and then guns started getting pulled, and Bat was reaching for a gun when a bunch of bystanders came over and beat him over the head until he stopped.
Don't.
Keep it up, fellas. He's going down. Beat him over the head until. Just it makes you think of a length of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I just immediately think they all climax. They all beat him over the head until. Well, they all came.
Well, they all wore themselves out in their own way.
Yeah, that's how you get a Mad Libs there.
Yeah, I'm really good at math.
So then,
It's got climaxes because.
and so Bobby Gill managed to run away, but Bat's brother Ed, who was assistant marshal, then had to go arrest him, Bobby Gill, and put him in jail with Bat, who was also in jail now.
Oh, they're all in jail.
Yep. But he was let out, and everything was fine. They all shook hands. And
Hey.
Whatever, man.
This cell doesn't even have a fourth wall. Just walk right out of it.
Well, we promised, though.
Yeah. A man, my word.
And so in 1877, now Bat is 24, and someone puts his name up
Jesus, he's not even 25 yet.
Jesus.
And someone puts his name up for the election for the sheriff of Ford County,
Hey.
the county that Dodge is in.
You bet.
And so he's not the marshal of Dodge City, but he's the sheriff of Ford County, and that's where kind of
sounds like it's a bigger job. It sounds like
it is a bigger job, and also you spent a lot of time in Dodge City.
Nice.
Yeah.
His brother Ed was still assistant marshal of Dodge City, and he had just shot a man in the groin.
Poetic. What's with the groin shots?
I don't know, but it happened in multiple stories.
Yeah, we all think it's funny, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they seem to mention it. They don't ever he hit him in the shoulder. They're just like the groin.
He hit him in the groin. Ha ha.
Yeah,
I guess it's just, you're kind of going for the dead center of the human.
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe they
And then there's a little bit of
And then they-
dip of the bullet.
they try to jump over you.
Oh yeah, that's how I dodge bullets, by leaping straight into the air.
Yeah, yeah. They're not the smartest guys.
Stop, drop, and roll will not be invented for at least.
That's right. Yeah. These people burned back then. They did not know how to stop it.
Oh, what do I do?
Yeah, running around
Run
in
into that
circles.
tank of kerosene, I guess.
Maybe if you go faster, it'd help.
Yeah.
Run the fire away.
Do me a favor, run to those buffalo over there.
They'll put you out. That means it's good for nothing.
Somebody dump manure on them.
Now it's in 1878. The next year, the Texans are getting rowdier in Dodge.
No.
And Ed Masterson, he's checking out a bar scene when he sees a trail hand with a gun in his holster, just out in the open.
The fuck?
And
What you doing?
he says, no, you can't do that here in Dodge. And the guy seems, at first, he seems okay with it. He takes the gun from him.
Oh, okay.
He gives it to the guy's trail boss. He says, hey, when you get into the bar, check the gun at the bar. A few minutes later, Ed's outside, standing around, sees those guys come out of the bar, sees the gun now tucked inside the guy's shirt. Goes
Out of my mind.
Goes up to grab the gun. As he does this, a scuffle ensues. As they ensue.
I mean, they start out as kerfuffles.
Yes.
And
Turned into a game of grab ass.
Oh, God.
And the guy wrestling with Ed Masterson pulls his gun, and he puts the muzzle against Ed's right side. He pulls the trigger. It's so close, Ed's shirt catches on fire.
Oh, shit.
Run for your life. The wind.
Find the nearest pile of manure. Dive straight in.
The wind will do the trick.
The fire will be so disgusted. It'll do the most bravest thing it could do, and that would be to extinguish itself.
Shuffle off this mortal plane.
Leaving nothing but smoke.
It's either that, either douse yourself in manure or get yourself up to 88 miles per hour.
Or 8 rungs of a ladder.
A rickety one, though. You're going to want one that's real rickety and poorly constructed. Only one way.
I was hanging a clock. I slipped on the ladder. That blew my fucking brains out.
That's the only way I want to leave this rodeo.
So, in this scuffle, after being shot, Ed pulls his gun out, manages to shoot the guy
Who shot him?
who shot him.
When he got shot, that bullet went like in him.
It went completely through his abdomen,
Oh,
Jesus
fuck!
from right to left.
And your shirt's on fire.
Yeah.
Plus, you got a headache.
And I farted.
And he oh.
Shit, I farted out a boner.
I shot out a bullet.
Well, dip me in manure and put me to bed.
Go on now, come on, buddy.
And so he Masterson drew his gun after that. He shot the guy he was wrestling with through the body. That guy fell over. The other guy had been holding someone back, swung his gun towards Ed, and Ed fired 3 times, hitting him twice in the chest, once in the arm.
Wow.
That was all the shooting that was done, 5 shots. And Ed, the guy who was hit in the body and the arm, he stumbled into the bar, and he handed a man a gun, and he said, "Throw it on the floor if you don't want it." And then he fell to the ground.
Wow.
Coward. And then Ed Masterson, with a hole through his body, quote, "Large enough for the introduction of the whole pistol."
Oh.
They started pistol fucking me with my own gun.
They gave myself a belly pussy.
Jesus Christ.
They started calling me a pussy belly.
After I was fucked with the pistol, I wrote to the company to make some adjustments.
Could you flare out the front tip?
Could you make it ribbed, sir?
And put some balls right there around the stock.
That's how the Sibian was built by Smith & Wesson.
I find that a nice double spherical grip really helps with the aiming.
And if I have a friend over, could you add another one on the other side?
So, Ed
Mm-hmm.
Was shot in the abdomen.
Yes, he was shot through the abdomen. He kills these 2 guys.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Pretty cool.
His shirt now smoldering still.
Oh,
He walks 200 yards.
Which is the worst part.
Yeah. With a hole on both sides of his body.
Fuck.
He walks 200 yards to a saloon where his friend George Hinkle is running, and he says, "George, I'm shot." And then he faints.
Whoa.
Fuck.
He
I'm the only one he confides in. We tell each other everything.
Yeah. Like what the inside of each other's buttholes feel like.
and also for a shot.
Oh my God.
So, you're gonna tell us what happens next?
Yeah, 40 minutes later he dies.
Okay, I was gonna say you get
Yeah.
shot in the abdomen, like.
If you can see through it,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, you're dead. You're dead. And even if you can't, even if the bullet doesn't come through, like, you get sepsis because like all your like your shit's in there,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so your shit gets in your bloodstream.
Not if the fire cauterizes the wound.
Well, the fire can't live amongst manure. We know that.
The fire rises.
Did we light the fire, sir?
And so in later years, Bat would be associated as the guy who killed those two people, but he was not in town that day.
Yeah.
It's a thing that would keep happening with him throughout his life.
But he would not be there on bad days?
No, that they would say, "Oh yeah, he did this too."
Oh, they would add on to his legend. Yes.
It didn't help.
The Legend of the Bat.
It didn't help that there were like 4 or 5 Masterson brothers who all became lawmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you wear the mask.
Oh, it was like Houdini. You know?
You wear the
No, you're thinking of Rey Mysterio.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, Ray. Ray and me.
Now, by 1878, the Buffalo had been effectively eliminated. The Buffalo men
finally
needed other things to do, so they flocked into Dodge and took up gambling.
Doesn't seem like a good business plan.
Nor does it seem like a
Something.
a natural progression. Well, we killed all the buffalo. What do we move on to next? Beaver, coyote,
No.
gamble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's some happening gambling spots there.
And gambling is cool.
Yeah. I guess you're going to start just killing men is really the plan.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. But as more people came into gambling, the town originally known as the Queen of Cow Towns, and then became the Mistress of Gamblers. I forgot to mention. Most of this comes from Robert DeArment, Bat Masterson, the man of the legend. It's thorough.
Yes, you've been working on that one for quite a while.
Yes.
I've watched you read it while you're sleeping.
While I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Yes. He's obsessed.
But so with all of these gamblers, then came bigger money men, guys who would back gamblers, and also came more entertainers. So more musicians, more whores, more dancers, people who weren't whores, who were entertainers. Eddie Foy was a big name there. Eddie Foy was kind of like the famous entertainer of the West. Wore silly outfits.
Oh.
He said his first day there, he's walking down the street.
Sounds interesting, fella.
Someone didn't like they thought he was walking kind of funny, so someone lassoed him and dragged him through the town.
You sure this was not Marty McFly?
Oh
I'm guessing
who got his outfit from a dead Chinese. God, I should have wore that shirt today to the episode.
Oh, it's true.
John got me a wonderful shirt for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Or just you just got it just for the hell of it.
I think we do that to each other.
Yeah, we do.
We do. It's very nice.
It's nice. Matt, I haven't got you anything yet.
That's okay.
I feel
fine. You have a child.
I don't want to rub it in your face.
You're with
Matt,
child.
John got me a really nice shirt inspired by the Atomic Kid outfit.
Yes.
Sported by Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
Oh, very nice.
Got the little nuclear
the
atom symbol.
It's very, very cool.
It's very cool.
I should have worn it for this episode. I wish you would have told me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Matt. You know I have outfits.
You know I have such a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Or a Mickey Mouse shirt.
Yeah.
Crazy thing to say.
You don't have an outfit for the occasion.
We have such sights to show you.
But the Dodge City here is still it was becoming a big thing in the press. It's becoming known. The president, Rutherford B. Hayes, he stopped by briefly.
Hey.
His train pulled up. He stood on the back platform.
Stuck his dick out.
This place smells like shit.
He listened to a speech by the mayor, didn't say a word, and then departed.
Yeah.
And it was noted, not a fan.
Not a fan of Dodge.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. He's like,
These people can't vote anyways. Move on.
Yeah.
Animals.
Just noting this isn't. So this is the second year of Masterson as sheriff. During this whole time, only 7 homicides happened in Dodge City.
So we cut him in half.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many happened in Ford County, but the last one that happened was a man named Harry T. McCarty. He was a surveyor and draftsman, and he was appointed U.S. Deputy Marshal. And in July of that year, was it 78? He was shot with his own gun.
Did he fall down a ladder?
The Dodge City Times called him a, quote, half-witted, rattle-brained, and quarrelsome wretch.
Oh my
Wow.
So he got into a scuffle.
With his gun.
Well, no, actually, no, I'm sorry. No, that's a different story. Oh, I messed that up. She was shot by a man who was described as a half-witted rattle-brained.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right.
The guy was a cook, and he was really drunk at the bar, and was telling the story or something, and pulled out a gun, waved it around, accidentally shot it off, and
Come
shot
on,
the U.S.
dude.
deputy marshal through the head.
Jesus
Conspiracy.
Christ.
No conspiracy.
I was telling a story.
Oh, and he said, the guy who was shot said, "I am shot."
Yeah.
And the lady gay.
Yeah, the I Am Shot saloon went out of business.
I am shot. Whiskey, I am shot.
And I believe a cop was shot in the groin at this time.
What the?
I just have a note that says another cop shot in groin.
Oh my god! I can only imagine how many buffalo. Aim for their groins, boys. Aim for their big, giant, swinging, pendulous, hairy buffalo cocks.
So in a famous case from back then, 1878, the mayor of Dodge City, a man named James, quote, Dog Kelly, got in a fight with a Texan at a saloon and beat the man savagely.
Oh my god! He beat him into a pretty civilized state.
I'm talking about real back to ape shit. I'm talking about just getting clubbing a man with
Oh
a
man, he
rock.
picked up a bone off the ground and threw it up in the sky when I was done with him.
It's like something you would see on the edge of a river. A man just banging a man's head against a rock. Real wild.
Using his skull as a toilet. Can you imagine some savagery?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's how badly he beat him. That if he were so inclined, he would do that.
Yeah, it was like he used his skull as a toilet and wiped his ass with his hand.
His hand.
The dead fella.
Not his
Oh,
own.
no. That'd be uncivilized.
He's got 3 good shells right there he could have used.
So a few months later, everybody figured that, all right, it's been a little bit. The guy left. The guy who was beaten, he left without coming back and fighting. So no problem. A few months later, the mayor, he's sick. He's staying out of town. He gives his mistress and her friend his cottage to stay at while they're in town.
Cool.
This Texan who was savagely beating rides by, empties a bunch of bullets into the cottage, thinking the mayor's there.
Oh, no.
And he hits an entertainer there named Fanny Keenan, whose stage name was Dora Hand.
Aww.
And
It's always the actors who suffer
It is.
in every single conflict.
I mean, they're really like modern-day shaman.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Soothsayers.
she dies. Here's a picture of her. She was
Oh.
Oh, what a lovely
She was
woman.
What a
known for
wonderful
being
dress.
a,
What a
What?
wonderful petticoat.
lovely
Beautiful
lady.
dress and just a beautiful.
Figure.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, this is a very. You can't really tell. It's like she's.
Rub Vaseline on the lens.
But yeah, she looks very pretty
human
and
being.
Poised.
quite.
May she rest in power.
Yes.
And so
Queen.
at first it's a whole scam. No one knows who did this and why. Eventually, they find
A Texan.
who gives up the other Texan, and the manhunt is on. It's a huge storm, and it's Wyatt Earp and Bad and a few other guys, and they figure they go to this farm, and the farmer says no one's passed this way, and they know the only way for the guy to go is this direction, but there's a storm a-coming. So what they do is they ride through the storm to get past the storm, and then they just sit on the other side waiting, figuring the guy would.
Right.
And so eventually the guy does show up. They just start shooting at him.
Wow.
And they take him down, and when the guy, he didn't know he thought he had killed the mayor, or he didn't know he had killed anybody. He had just taken a bunch of shots in there.
Right. He was aiming. He was trying to kill the mayor. He ends up killing this poor woman.
And so when they arrest him and they say they tell him what happened, he gets really remorseful, and he complains that they didn't kill him when they shot at him.
The hell.
Yeah. And
He must all be stupid or something.
And Bat Masterson says something like, "You dumb son of a bitch! I was doing the best I could."
I was aiming for your groin, like I teach you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Give me that. I'll do it myself.
Give me a ladder and a 6-shooter.
At least make me come with your hand.
But so he didn't always shoot at the people he was arresting. In one case,
Good.
there was a man who was wanted for robbery, I believe, and Bat heard he was coming into town on the train, and so he into a different town, not into Dodge, in town of Ford County.
Within his jurisdiction.
Yeah, and he just stood on the platform, kind of hidden, waited, watched a bunch of people come off the train, figured out who the guy was, walked up to him and said, "Oh, hi, Davis, how are you?" And the guy turned, shook his hand, and then recognized who it was.
I'll be on my way.
Yeah, and he arrested him like that. So it wasn't always just show up and just shoot people.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Use some discretion.
And he did enjoy pulling pranks.
Pranks.
Yeah, as they called them. One of them back then was a new guy in town. Yeah,
That's the name of the prank.
Well, kind of, yeah. So you would talk him up.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
You would talk him up, and you'd talk about, hey, like you're gonna love. We go hunting, but you gotta watch out for the Indians. They're gonna attack us.
Oh.
And so at some point they would take the guy out hunting, and then they would give him his hunting rifle, which was supposed to be empty or with blanks. And then they would have a guy and a bunch of people show up in native Indian outfits. And
Probably very racially sensitive.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know they yelled
They have,
very thoughtful things.
yeah. And they didn't use any sort of like grease paint or anything
Right.
like that.
No. No, they didn't have any tea with
They
them.
didn't hire any Italians or nothing.
Yeah.
No.
They went all crying about the litter, about the hides. Yeah. And so,
So the gun, they would give that guy blanks.
Yeah.
And he'd be firing at people pretending to be Native Americans.
yeah.
A savage is ready to attack him.
Right, and now all of a sudden they're impervious to white man's weapons.
Which is
Pretty scary shit.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they kept doing that prank until one day someone didn't load the blanks right. The guy almost killed a few people
Oh.
trying to pull a prank on him.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. How many people did he kill?
No, he almost did.
Oh, God.
But, that's some of the fun you could have.
Yeah, just fun stuff.
Imagine you died in a gag. It was a gag.
Yeah.
And you're like, look at him. He's not native at all. He's like, I'm from Sioux City. Actually, it's named after a tribe, I guess.
Home of the famous sarsaparilla.
There's another a little gag where a doctor who was a specialist in venereal disease wrote to Dodge and said they'd be receptive of a lecture on, his ideas. And Bat wrote him back saying, "Oh, you're yes, absolutely.
Hey, we got it bad here. Come
Yeah.
on, let us know, Doc."
You're gonna have a really great reception here."
Oh, my God.
And so there was like a meeting called, and the guy went up to make a speech. And as soon as he started talking about venereal disease, someone called him a liar.
This is a good gag.
Fake news.
And so Bat jumped up and pulled his gun and said, "Next person to say that is going to get shot." And then chaos ensued, and people just started running out and firing off guns. And it was just
to freak this doctor out.
yeah.
It was just a large-scale prank to
Yeah.
freak out the doctor trying to prevent people from getting horrific diseases of the crotch.
yeah.
Look at him. He's shitting. I bet he wishes he had the clap now instead of a bunch of crazy country folk firing off firearms.
Anyways, still burns when I pee.
God damn.
Yeah, just some fun you can have with your friends back then.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite a doctor. Invite
a doctor and prank him.
prank him.
It's so bad. It's like bad Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, everybody shares on the joke against the educated guy.
Yeah.
So I can look at him with all his fancy ideas and learning.
They invite Fauci to try.
Yeah.
I pretend to be a native. He hated it.
He hated it.
Once we explained what we were doing, he was real confused and saddened.
So, in 1879, after 2 years as sheriff, he loses re-election,
Oh God, that's sad.
and
Stolen.
rumors spread that if he finds anybody who didn't vote for him, he'd lick that son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He has to write to the newspaper to deny the rumors, saying that he would fight the editor.
Cool.
Okay.
By 1880, he's 26.
Good God.
The plains had changed so much now that there's no buffalo hunting or Indian scouting. It's now gambling time.
Wow.
There's no work for him. He lost his re-election, so he decides to become a gambler.
That is just so crazy. I know I said earlier, but like, all right, we exhausted this one natural resource.
Yeah, no other ideas.
Yeah, end a list. Now let's take what we got and waste it.
Yeah.
May the best man win.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty
Why
funny.
you should have just started there and let the buffalo live.
Yeah,
Let the buffalo roam.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the economy to depend on that, it means that a lot of people would have to be bringing a lot of wealth to the table for
Yeah.
that to be the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
that-
that they all got rich with buffalo hides and. all
I
that
mean,
shit.
it must be quite rich.
Yeah. Oh, killed
And then
the-
there's the people that are just living off
the rich.
the rich
Yeah, the what
that
is it
are-
called?
that are actively gambling their fortunes away.
The ancillary industries.
And so he's gambling, and at one point when he's about 1880, 1881, he gets word that his friend Bill Thompson is laid up in bed with a bunch of bullet wounds. Bill had been in Agalala for cattle shipping season, and had got caught in. He had been in a faro game, form of poker,
Okay.
Oh.
and got in a quarrel with a man, and went to the man's saloon when he was working and shot at him and missed him, but the bullet ripped off the thumb and 3 of his fingers.
As he shot his own gun?
No, the guy he shot.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, wow.
And so the man then responded with a shotgun blast.
Uh-oh.
And so Thompson was arrested and laid up in bed with the bullet wounds and the shotgun blast.
Jeez.
And he was going to get lynched by the town
Wow.
for shooting at the
Mayhem,
other man.
Yeah.
And so Masterson goes down there, and with help of another man, waits around, because then people go, "Oh, Masterson's here. He's probably going to try to break this guy out. We can't let that happen." But that Sunday, there's a big fiddle dance in town.
Hoedown?
Yeah, and Masterson gets the guard really drunk.
We're dedicating the new clock tower.
Yeah, he gets the guard really drunk. The guard passes out. Masterson breaks his friend out of jail just in time for the train to show up, and they take the train to Buffalo Bill Cody's house in another town. Buffalo Bill Cody rests him up, and they eventually get him out of town.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Buffalo Bill, while he was staying at Cody's, Buffalo Bill was like, "Hey, we can't leave just yet. The president and a bunch of people from other nations are showing up."
They're going to stop by for 12 seconds.
No, but they would show up to Cody's, and he would do a bunch of like shooting tricks.
Did we do Buffalo Bill Cody?
No,
we
he's
talked
come
about
up in other
Yeah.
ones, but yeah.
The president's going to show up here, make his whole, "Can you believe this shit" face, and then leave.
He's going to show the foreign dignitaries what he can only describe as a human zoo.
Yeah. He's going
And
to
then
take turns pointing at our most respected officials and making the jerk off.
Then they're just going to take that train and hightail it to 1985.
Can you use that thing?
Sure.
So after this, he makes his way to Tombstone. Masterson does, and he becomes a faro dealer. And he's making about $25 for a 6-hour shift. It's about
That's pretty good.
$750 today, not counting tips.
Oh, not count.
Any tip?
Mhm.
Any tips?
Gratuity.
Now, it wasn't always a safe job because people would question whether you were legitimate. They would fight with other people. and his friend Luke Short
Luke
gets in a whole problem there, and he gets in a fight with one of Bat is friends with Luke Short, and he's friends with a dealer, and Luke Short is claiming the dealer is ripping him off. Bat has to go there and shut them both down, but there is a fight between the two, and Short kills Storm, and Bat, he says, it was all in self-defense. So Bat's outside with Luke after all this kerfuffle, and this is what Bat writes. I was just explaining to Luke that Storms was a very decent sort of man, and lo and behold, there he stood before us. Without saying a word, he took hold of Luke's arm, pulled him to the sidewalk where he had been standing, at the same time pulling his pistol, .45 caliber, single action, but he was too slow, and although he succeeded in getting his pistol out, Luke Short took the muzzle of his own gun, put it on Storm's heart, and pulled the trigger.
Oh, John Wick style.
The bullet tore his heart asunder, and as he was falling, Luke shot him again.
God damn
Storms
it.
was dead.
Heart asunder?
Storms was dead when he hit the ground.
Like an ex-lover.
Yeah.
He tore his heart asunder.
But it was just...
But he had to shoot him again.
Just to put the poor creature out of his misery.
two guys getting in just a dumb little thing, think it's all resolved. The other guy shows up, pulls a gun, gets a gun pulled on him, and dies.
Dude. The beef isn't over.
Beef is on.
The beef is eternal.
It's what's for dinner.
But that was, that's the sort of thing sometimes with these faro dealers, they would get in the middle or be involved in some sort of, if some guy's losing a lot, he's drinking, might think you're cheating him.
Right.
God damn.
And
which you are. Which you probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah. After a few months of this, Bat gets word that his brother Jimmy, he's in trouble in Dodge City. And there's a whole haggling between every time they change mayors. Like the business people have specific people they want as mayors, and they don't all agree. Some of them want more saloons, some of them want less. Right. And then you get the sheriffs and all of the lawmen, and because the mayor, whoever's elected, is going to bring in their own people.
Right.
So there's always a fight between these two folks. And Masterson would, I believe it was Masterson, would later write. Oh, this is an Iowa newspaper.
Oh.
They write, the mayor is a flannel-mouthed Irishman and keeps a saloon and gambling house which he attends to in person.
Flannel-mouthed.
Yeah. The city marshal and assistants are gamblers and each keep a woman, as do the mayor also.
And guess this, the lady gay.
The sheriff owns a saloon and the deputy sheriff is a bartender in a saloon. And so, they're going after... Bat's brother, Jim, is one of the sheriffs. So he's being badmouthed during this election season. And this thing would be called the Battle of the Plaza. And no one's entirely sure what happened or who shot first. But what happens is Bat gets word his brother's in trouble. He takes the train up there. As soon as he arrives, people who are kind of situated around the town see him arrive. They run off, and shooting just starts happening. They start shooting at Bat. He starts shooting back. At one point, one of the men who ran from him, he shoots him, and the man stands up and goes, "I've been shot."
Oh my
and
God.
He falls over. And eventually...
It doesn't count otherwise.
It really...
He said it.
And eventually, the guns go silent as people start running out of ammunition. And the mayor runs up to Bat with a shotgun and puts him under arrest.
Whoa.
And everybody, there's a hearing in court, and charges are brought, but they end up find him guilty and fine him $8.
Okay.
And the Walnut City Blade writes, "It costs $8 to shoot a man through the lung in Dodge City."
Wow.
And so you can imagine, that's it. That's all that happens from him going to back up his brother in a local fracas.
Right.
Yeah. How much does it cost to tear a man's heart asunder?
With
Too
love?
rich for my blood.
With love. And it's around this time that the stories of Bat's killings, the amount of men he's killed, start spreading around. There's no evidence that he actually was the one to shoot this guy who died in this fight. A lot of people were shooting.
They didn't take ballistics?
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
But there would go on to be a rumor that he had killed 26 men because his guns would have 26 notches on them.
Oh.
And in later years, Bat would clarify that he actually, there was a gun collector, and he thought it'd be a funny prank if he notched 26 notches into the gun.
Oh, really?
And sent it to him. So the gun collector would later say, I have his gun. It's 26. It definitely was.
Because he knew his own legend.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that so? Did he kill 26 people, or do we know?
We don't.
We only know this was one of the last ones he was involved in, and we only know for sure that he killed, not even for sure, but probably for one person.
Okay.
Not counting the natives that he shot while he was.
Right.
He might have shot, or
Yeah.
but there's no documentation of who shot what. So
Sure. Who shot what? Jesus Christ, man.
who shot who? Who shot the horse?
Gee. Wow, that flew right over my head. Thank you for pointing that out.
I got your back, dude.
Thank you.
Now, in 1882, he's appointed sheriff of Trinidad, Colorado. He helps break his semi-friend Doc Holliday out.
Oh.
Doc Holliday was a notorious bastard. No one really liked him.
Bad dentist.
Yes. I think yes. He's the deadly dentist or the dueling dentist.
Yeah, he was a dentist. It was plagued by consumption.
Yeah.
Masterson writes very negatively about him, basically saying we had not a thing in common and I didn't like him very much. But Wyatt Earp was friends with Holliday, and as he was Masterson was best friends with Wyatt Earp, he made a plan to free Doc Holliday, who was arrested and was going to be extradited to another state. And Masterson basically went up to the sheriff, whoever was bringing him to the other state, and said, "Hey, by the way, he's wanted in this other place. Let me have him, and I'll bring him there first." And then,
Got it.
but as the sheriff of Trinidad, Colorado, not a great look.
No, it wouldn't be.
And then later, while he's visiting Denver, probably to gamble, he's absent when his undersheriff, McGraw, who was a real bastard. And he was quoted in the local newspaper as saying, "There's been no one killed for a long time, but there's lots of them that ought to be."
Is that in the paper?
Yeah, they needed the quote.
Imagine getting the paper the next day, and you're like, "Oh, sheriff wants to kill him." Say,
What's the weather like out there?
one time he looked at me funny.
Skip to the funnies.
And so at one morning is MB McGraw. At one morning in August, 9 o'clock in the morning, McGraw walks up to an officer, a local county officer, and says he doesn't like him, puts his hand on his gun, and then slaps the man in the face. And then after he slaps him, they both pull guns on each other. And the other guy, Goodell, he shoots a McGraw in the arm, basically smashing it with a bullet. And taking his gun falls as this happens. The other guy, Goodell, shoots again and stumbles into a business and yells at them. He says, "For God's sake, give me my gun." And then he gets shot 2 more times.
Oh my God.
And then 2 days later, he dies. Wow. And this all happens when Bat is not in town.
Yeah, he's always conspicuously absent.
Yeah,
The shit hits the fan.
Up, yeah.
Just want to let you guys know I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. I just want to get to any pranks.
Yeah. Once you guys figure out this whole Shania Twain video choreography where you slap each other and get your guns or whatever's going on.
And also during this time, Bat is also moonlighting as a card dealer and maintains multiple gambling banks for himself and in the local gambling places.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the local paper during the election for sheriff in '83, they write, there are now 2 bankers running for city offices, Mr. Taylor of the Los Animas County Bank and Mr. Masterson of the bank of, quote, Fair O.
Huh.
Both have large number of depositors, one of one-time depositors, and the other receives his deposits for keeps. And so combine those those incidents, Bat lost his re-election.
Oh.
And then a few days later, he would break up a foot race.
Hey, none of that shit around here.
He felt like there was some cheating going on in the foot race, so he tripped the man right before the...
No.
My God.
But there was big money in this foot race. They actually had a guy, there was like I think it was like a guy from Texas and like a local guy, and it was a 60-yard race. And the whole town came out and was putting money on it.
Yeah.
And as the gun was being fired, one of the guys who Bat thought might have been doing some dirty dealing bent down to tie his shoe and then lost the race.
Ah. So is that who he tripped?
He tripped the guy who was winning, and then he put out notice in the paper that he thought there was some dirty dealing, and then the guy who bent to tie his shoe, him and his manager skipped town that night.
Oh.
So I don't know if maybe there was, or maybe they were just like, this is
Well, there was
insane.
definitely some dirty dealing when he tripped a guy in the race.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, and his bank is the bank of Fair O.
Yeah.
And he's out tripping people in public.
Well, Pharaoh's like weird poker game.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then later in 1883, Bat writes to a newspaper, "You'd never stand a foot in Dodge City again. Can't stand the place." But again, his friend Luke Short, who owns a bar in Dodge City, is a gambler. He's run out of town by marshals and saloon owners because a new mayor has been elected, and the mayor has an anti-gang, anti-vagrancy campaign that only seems to target people he's not aligned with.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean up this town.
And so Luke, he's given a choice of 2 trains, east or west. He takes the train to Kansas City, wires to his friends, and Bat Masterson, Wyatt Earp, a bunch of their friends all show up. So newspapers all start talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are all around. Obviously, something's going on.
Something's up.
Yeah.
And Masterson and Luke Short meet with the governor of Kansas, and they explain their plan. They're going to go and take Luke's bar back and fight off anybody who tries to stop him. And they ask the governor to not intervene. The governor agrees.
To take Luke's bar back?
Yeah, because they had taken his bar. The city had taken his bar from him.
Sounds like a recipe for cool shit. We're taking Luke's bar
Yeah,
back.
I mean, it does sound like
Great injustice has been perpetrated on one of my kinsmen.
a good bro comedy. Yeah.
Now, Governor, you don't stick your beak in.
You don't want none of this, Governor.
The governor goes, "Go ahead, Luke. Do I know Luke?"
What town?
Shitberg.
Go ahead.
Dodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure to dodge it.
Give Luke's family my warmest condolences.
Oh, he's still here.
Oh, hey, Luke.
So they go to a nearby town. I wasn't sure if they go to a nearby town after this. Them and Wyatt Earp. Or Wyatt Earp shows up either to Dodge City early or to another town early. And he convinces a local policeman to deputize him and his friends. And the guy agrees.
Oh my God, like he's getting a blessing from the Pope for a crusade.
Yeah, pretty much. And so Wyatt Earp then, with this deputizing, is allowed to carry guns wherever.
Yeah.
And so he shows up in Dodge, and he's just places men in like strategic locations, waiting for Bat and Luke to show up.
All right, you hide in the bottom of the latrine. Sorry, Pee-wee. You drew the short straw. I'll be here hiding out in the whorehouse.
And so as this is all being set up, the powers in town, they just they decide that it's not worth it.
The powers being like the business owners.
Yeah, all
Like,
the
just
people.
let him have the bar. Basically.
Yeah, and I believe I think it was called the Battle of Dodge. It was supposed to be a big famous battle. I think all the newspapers were disappointed. It wasn't some chaotic
Nothing
thing.
happened.
Oh, it's
Not a thing.
Not really. Nothing happened.
No, nothing happened. But other than this, what happened is that all of the guys of the Masterson Wyatt Earp group, they all sat down
For a photo.
For a photo.
When they were getting ready to rumble.
No, afterwards.
After there was no rumble.
After
Yeah.
they won nothing.
And that's it.
Yeah.
One of the most famous pictures of
Wow.
of the, quote, Wild West. That's Masterson, second from the right on the top. That's
Oh, I know him.
Wyatt Earp is bottom, second from the left on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that one guy's touching him. You can tell.
And Luke Short is the short guy.
Oh.
Dude.
No.
No, in the back. in
Oh,
the back.
yeah, he's definitely.
Short Luke, tiny Luke,
Yeah.
baby Luke, baby Yoda.
You know,
Called him
but those short guys, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, Masterson's not towering over him either.
No.
But yeah, these are some good guys.
Solid.
Yeah.
Good guys.
Solid guys.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. They
mustaches.
they gathered for a picture over nothing.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess they had won.
This is why Ned Buntline was a rich man. We told people crazy shit happened.
Yeah.
Real wild stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
No. Actually, it wasn't a big deal at all. Mostly uneventful.
There's a fucking shit ton of buffalo here, actually. Reports of their extinction have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah. In my opinion, anarchism works too well. Boring as hell. I mean.
Why don't we, let's take a short little break.
Okay.
Come right back.
All right, we'll take a break, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Hey,
Wow.
Bat Masterson.
That's right.
I am the night.
Yeah.
I am like.
Splat Masterson. That's cool.
No.
Too. No? It's not Splat. Splat.
Splat,
Yeah, Splat.
Master's son.
Lady Gay.
This can't be Roots.
So that was the Battle of Dodge City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The famed.
And Masterson, at some point after this, he's invited. He's invited back to Dodge, where he stays and drinks and gambles and calls people's names in the newspaper.
Oh my God.
There were a bunch of doctors who misjudged a horse race he was in charge of, and he called them fop-tailed nonentities.
Fop-tail non-entities?
Yeah.
Calling anybody a non-entity is devastating.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And as
Smart to do when there's the doctors in the town.
This guy had it out for doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in this guy's fucking family gets a hole through their body. And he's like, you know what? Doctors are non-entities.
Let's prank
well,
them.
no, the ones who were in charge,
Down and mock them.
the ones who were supposed to judge the race, and Bat felt they got it wrong.
Yeah, no,
Those are the bad ones.
he likes those guys that are in the saloon all night.
That's a good doctor.
The best.
And he's accused by this man named Krieger, who is a sheriff or something, sheriff or marshal or something, and he's accused of doing some unruly acts or breaking his friends out and doing something illegal. He does admit to breaking out Doc Holliday
Of course, yeah.
and Bill Thompson, but he's accused of breaking out another friend, and he says he didn't do it. And he writes about this guy Krieger. He says, Krieger may not be able to express himself as intelligently as some people and possibly knows very little about habeas corpus or a requisition. But in Trinidad, where such little defects are not considered as essential in the constitution of an officer, he stands in preeminent in his business. Good way of saying this guy's a
He's an
fucking idiot.
It's the best of being
Yeah.
stupid.
It's not exactly non-entity, but,
Yeah.
probably didn't lose any money in the thing.
As far as entities go, he's right near the bottom.
Yeah.
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 This guy likes talking shit.
Yeah.
But as DeArment notes, like he's writing more and more. He writes to the newspapers more and more. He's well known. They publish his letters. It used to be that he would just call people sons of bitches, and now he's calling them non-entities.
Yeah.
He's trying to put some thought into his writing.
Okay, all right.
Bitches.
Sons of bitches, John.
Yeah. Y'all a bunch of.
But that's still like getting in trouble as a sheriff. He also gets in trouble for being mean in the newspaper.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
Yeah.
And a friend of a guy he made fun of attacks him with a knife.
Oh.
But he's sitting in a saloon, and someone yells, "That guy's coming at you with a knife!" And Bat turns around, picks up a chair, and just beats the guy savagely with the chair.
Oh, God.
Like a caveman
Yeah.
with a chair.
Uh-huh.
At some point in 1884, he decides to start his own newspaper, and he just uses it. There's only one issue, and he just uses it to attack everybody he doesn't like, and it's an election year too, and all of the people he attack don't get elected, and he closes the paper.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
That is funny. Now from our columnist, Bat Masterson. This is why so-and-so is a straight-up son of a bitch.
This is what he writes about E.D. Swan, who's running for office. He says, E.D. Swan would be a nice man to have in charge of the poor widows and orphans of Ford County after turning his aged and decrepit father out on the streets to die of starvation.
Oh, my God.
ED can't even get his dick up.
From henceforth, let all limp dick people known to be suffering from ED. Lord knows I'm suffering from ED right now.
Chase his father out into the alleys. He's forced to make his own way.
There's a man named Burns running for office. He writes, "Let Burns go back to Naperville and tell the people there who were generous enough to purchase him a paper ticket to Dodge City, the people here don't want him. Ford County does not want the scum and filth of the other communities for county attorney, such as Burns, the Republican candidate."
Return to sender, please.
Yeah. And then after he puts out a notice saying the paper's closed, he says, "The Vox Populi said nothing that it is sorry for. And with this declaration, it says good day." Saying that it accomplished its mission of getting elected the people it wanted, but you know,
mission accomplished.
He seemed to enjoy the writing, and
Taking a shine to it.
yeah.
The pen truly is mightier.
And then because of his fame, he's asked multiple times to take a deputy sheriff badge on a part-time basis because there's been an incident in town and people are worried things are going to get unruly. So he's hired just to show up until the peace.
Scare the
back.
doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In June of 1885, a group of temperance men stated they're going to go into Dodge City and shut down all the saloons.
Oh, good
Whoa.
luck, Chief.
When they arrive, a crowd gathers at the hotel, and after a scuffle between a few men, the crowd try to break into the room of the temperance folks and lynch them. Masterson.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We're going to bring sobriety to these people.
over your dead body.
Yeah. They're all fucking.
We're fucked up right now.
Yeah, we're absolutely gassed.
Sitting in the bar going, you hear that guy's coming in?
How dare you say drinking causes violence?
Yeah. We're going to laugh about this tomorrow. That's how we cope and dodge. Remember when we strung up all them temperance boys?
No, I was drunk. Of course I don't remember.
Of course I don't remember. I don't think
it happened.
never heard a fly.
But, Kansas is a big, it's
The microwave state.
Yes.
very, very big on temperance. And so he actually Bat actually keeps the crowd at bay, keeps the man from getting killed. The next day, the guy runs off. But
It's one guy?
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a few.
Oh, I thought it was like a
No.
hotel.
Like the town came out to lynch this one guy. who was going to speak about temperance.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like the guy was going to bring like a gang of people to shut down the saloons.
No, those people don't have any balls.
Okay.
Wow.
But even stopping this man from being killed that summer, Bat. I believe this was the first ever vote. He was voted by the city as the most popular man in Dodge.
Yeah.
You let us drink.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because the following year there's another election, and the two factions are fighting about temperance. Bat, his side is pro saloon.
Yeah.
And dance hall.
In order to blackmail everybody to voting for his side, he shuts down all the saloons.
Oh.
He goes saloon to saloon, going no, you're shut down today.
Yeah.
In order to blackmail the city into voting for.
See how bad it sucks? No saloons.
Is this what you want?
This is
But-
what my opponent wants.
The plan doesn't work, and Bat's side loses election. The temperance crowd is taking over Dodge
So
City.
he just did
No
that job
way.
for them.
Yeah.
He shut down. He did the hard work of shutting down all
They're
the
like, it wasn't
saloons.
so bad. Yeah.
His false flag was a wild success.
For the other side.
Yeah.
We love it.
And we loved him for it.
Oh my God.
Bat decides he's had enough of Dodge, and he gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband stayed home and fucked me all night. It was great. I know how I'm voting.
You remembered our son's name.
Looked at him for what must have been upwards of 90 seconds.
It was the longest I've ever spent time with him.
So he moves to Denver, and he figures he'll just go back to gambling. But he's even more famous now. The fame doesn't stop,
Oh.
especially with.
Can't stop, won't stop, dude.
No, so never stop, not stopping.
He shows up in Reno, and when he gets off the train, a bunch of kids pelt him with snowballs.
Oh, in Reno?
Yeah,
Cool.
and he fights him. He pelts him back, and he goes to his hotel. And then the town hears. Word spreads that Bat Masterson is in town. The town shows up. They break down his door. They tear him out of there, and they take him to town and give him food and drink. And
Oh my God.
and they ask him to tell stories, and it's a whole thing.
Tell the stories or we'll throw more snowballs at you.
Yeah.
Will you fuck us later, Bat?
Dude, that's so
They
weird.
carry him on their shoulders.
Fuck us, fuck
Fuck
us.
us, Bat.
And because of his fame now when he's gambling, if there would be times where he could use the storytelling to his advantage, maybe he could slow the game down until more people showed up. He could get people to stop paying attention while during their hand, or the dealer to.
Yeah. Some guy's about to raise. He's like, I killed 26 people. And I loved it.
And I got room for one more notch.
And it made me happy.
Anyways, your hand.
Anyway. Raise, you said, huh?
Huh, curious.
Wow. That's one way to go.
And in 1885, he's 33 now.
Let me tell you about the bravest son of a bitch I've ever seen in my life.
Eastwood was his name.
From the top of that ladder, he went.
In 1885, he gets started being known as a boxing expert, and he gets called to ref fights.
Cool.
Was that also an ERP thing?
Well, he was definitely a fighter when he was a sheriff.
Yeah, no, but I think he might have had some later life stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
I think we'll put a pin in that, but
So Bat becomes known as kind of an expert, and he gets hired to ref and keep time, and
not trip anybody. An idiot.
And while he's on one of his boxing trips, he meets these two brothers, and one of them is a cowhand. The other one's a reporter named William Lewis. And they were amazed at his stories, and Lewis would later make a big career out of embellishing and rewriting his Masterson stories into Wild West stories.
That's fucking cool.
You know, a lot of that's how, as these are the things that keep adding up through the generations that make the West. Even though
Tall tales, man.
Yeah.
Tall tales.
It was all in my book. Lies I told about a guy I kinda knew.
Volumes 1 through 3006.
And while he's traveling up into the Dakotas, he meets and befriends Teddy Roosevelt. They stay friends the rest of their lives.
Wild man.
He goes on to visit his friend Luke Short at Luke's new spot in Fort Worth. While he's there, a man comes in looking for Luke Short, and as soon as they make eye contact, they pull out guns and start shooting at each other. And once again, Luke Short kills the man and wins.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because he's like fucking Odd Job.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean,
He's zooming
like
around.
groin height.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, they
You can't get him in his groin. It's damn near on the ground.
If I can't get him in the big head, I'll get him in the little one.
I can't get it. He's such a small target.
Plus, he's got that fucking boiler thing on his
Yeah.
chest, zooming around.
Bulletproof vest.
I think Luke Short would a few years later, would die of like dysentery or something.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Drank some shit water.
Yeah, after celebrating after a fight, after killing a
Stupid.
man.
Idiot.
Yeah.
This looks good. Oh, a fresh stream downstream from the horse stable.
Yeah.
No, it's got a real good odor tonight. So during this time, while he was gambling, he would take on jobs as a manhunter or agents for insurance companies, railroads, express companies, detective agencies.
Manhunter.
Sometimes he'd work for the U.S. government. He'd become friends with one of the founders of Pinkerton, because I'm guessing they probably met through some sort of way.
Manhunting.
Yeah.
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 Oh, the Pinkertons and the Manhunters.
Yeah.
They were into some shit. They're gonna get there, man.
Yeah.
But he was still
Big
hired.
time.
He was still hired anytime a town fell into chaos, and like Silverton, Colorado.
That's so crazy.
They turned to a man they didn't fully understand.
On one street in Silverton, Colorado, was 37 saloons,
Mm.
and they never closed.
Oh.
And one day, a popular man there named Clayton Ogsbury, he was shot up and killed by a bunch of fugitives from Durango. And so a drunken mob, went looking for these fugitives, couldn't find them, lynched the man instead, a black man.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
because they needed to satisfy the bloodlust.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And so the town, at least, was outraged enough to hire some vigilantes and Bat Masterson. And so it was his job to calm the place down and find out who did it. And he eventually found the guy who did it. The town tried to lynch that man, and Bat had to save him from the town until he got justice and was eventually killed.
He was hanged or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
That was how it went.
in between gambling. Sometimes you might have to
Yeah.
show up and
You're like,
Sorry, folks, I've got to sit this hand out. I've got to go
Yeah.
quell a riot.
Yeah. I got to go into a town where people are like, is civilization over? And then they want to kill a guy. And I say, no, you got to wait till I do. And then I leave.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It is wild.
West.
I was always wondering how to get that name.
Right, but I think we think of the Wild West like Dodge, like a bunch of guys show up and they're dueling.
No.
But no, it's like a
No.
drunken mob in town
Yeah.
Yeah.
lynches a guy because they couldn't find the guy they wanted to kill.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's still Lord of the Flies.
And he was also hired to guard polling places. So there's a huge problem in Kansas when Kansas was trying to figure out where their county seats were. There was murderous fighting about where they were, or where they would go, because people were going to vote for where they should be. So the polling places had to have
hold on. Describe it again. Where they're
the
they're-
county seats of a state. Like
Yeah.
for instance, Kansas starts
what
as a state.
jurisdictions they'll have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and where they emanate from.
Yes.
Because whichever place they're in, then the politicians and their entourages all come in. There's more money to be made by the
Right.
place that has where the politicians are.
Got it.
And this started off a series of killings And so you would have to have guards at polling places so people wouldn't come up, shoot people or steal the ballots, destroy them all. Because they're like, well, in this town, they're going to vote for this town. Let's destroy the ballots, and then it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And if somehow the election still goes on.
God damn it.
So they would hire guys like Bat Masterson to guard the polls.
Yeah.
And there's at least one occasion where he might have been involved in this too. Where he took the polls. There's a story of a bunch of. Well,
it's still the law of the jungle. Like no matter how you dress it up.
Well,
like, there's a strong man that they all look to.
Yes.
I should clarify. He was thought for years to be involved with it, and it turned out to be one of his brothers.
Oh.
There's a story of a bunch of guys ran up to a polling place, and they held it hostage, and they took all the ballots, and they ran off. But two of the guys were left behind because there wasn't enough room on the horses, and they had to shoot it out with the town.
Jesus, hell.
And eventually were arrested and charged and then released, and it was one of his younger brothers. And it just became associated that Bat Masterson. And then so he had to write to the newspapers and say, I just confirmed I was in a different town that day.
Yeah.
Here's the receipt.
You nincompoops, non-entities.
My stupid fuckhead brother.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a lot of money in stealing elections, not like now.
Yeah, no.
Time with that mic. And so then, he tried to settle down a little bit. He worked at a bar and gambling hall in Creed.
Nice, quiet life.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Creed, Colorado, called the Denver Exchange. At some point while he was there, just down the road in Creed, a man named Ed O'Kelly walked into a tent saloon and called out to the bartender, "Hey, hi, Bob." And when the bartender turned around, Ed O'Kelly shot the man with his shotgun.
Oh, my God.
And that's how Bob Ford died, the murderer of Jesse James.
Wow. Hey, Bob, what's up? Wow.
Jesse sends his regards.
No, Ed O'Kelly didn't know him at all.
Wow.
He just wanted to be famous for being the man who killed the guy who killed Jesse James.
Bob!
Stop!
Boom! Ed O'Kelly, I'm the famous Irish bastard that killed the coward that I didn't know bravely.
Well, at least he didn't shoot him in the back, I guess.
That shot Jesse James. Anyhow.
But by now, Bat had calmed down. Well, I mean,
he's just gambling and drinking. It's no big deal.
But he is famous for, people know him, and he's also, kind of security at the place. And at one point, some drunk walks up and slaps him in the face, and the whole bar goes silent.
What's he gonna do?
And Bat just he laughs at the man, and that's it.
The man took 30 paces out the door and killed himself.
Yeah.
And he would say he told somebody, he said, if you really want trouble, let him sober up and come back.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
But
he has calmed down a bit.
Also, I do think it's pretty funny if a man slaps you and you just turn to him and laugh at him.
Yeah.
It's like if you slap the Big Show.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. You'd be demoralizing and be laughed at after you smack somebody.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did not elicit the response I was hoping for.
Yeah. Should have gone for a punch. Punch was the original plan.
Yeah.
I settled on a slap.
Yeah.
And he's still into his pranking. At one point, a traveling priest shows up.
Oh my!
And he's looking for. He's like, oh, this place is too roughneck. And Masterson says, no. And he calms the whole bar down. He says, gentlemen, this man's gonna give a speech. And it turned out the speech was so good, actually, that men started crying. And they do a collection. And the guy leaves with the collection. And then Bat says, all right, I got an idea. And so they know where the guy is staying at the camp, and while he's sleeping, they steal all the money from him.
That they had donated to him.
Yeah.
Check this out. We'll steal our own money back.
Can't believe you made me cry.
Fucking asshole.
I haven't been touching my feelings like that in a fortnight.
This shall not pass.
And so the next day, the priest comes in, then going like, I was right. You guys are a bunch of fucking jackass assholes.
Father.
Sir.
I don't know if he's saying all that. You know, it might be artistic license. But he...
Y'all bitches. Straight bitches. Every one of you.
I wouldn't fuck any of y'all if you were the cutest 8-year-old boy in the world.
Oh, my God. Give your passport.
God will strike down.
So then Masterson then they waits and he lets the man go off, and then he
Say his piece.
yeah, and then he drags him over to where the safe is, and he opens it up and shows him, and there's a big cheer that goes out, and then Masterson says, a guy who wins big at the table is here. He buys around for the whole bar.
What'd he say, Padre?
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit of communion wine for the crew.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a cute story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun prank.
Prank.
Jesus Christ, I was only kidding when I said y'all was bitches. What was I after thinking?
God blessing you.
Think about the 8-year-old.
I knew you were a good man, I knew you were all right the whole time. I was only having a laugh.
That brown stains on my robe. I was here before.
Fell in the mud. Okay, eventually he heads to Denver for a few years, but he gets involved in a bar, restaurant, gambling den that he kind of gets tricked out of it by his partner, and not happy about that. And then
Not thrilled.
there's the vote for women is coming up, and there's a whole thing about people being challenged at the ballots if they're actually allowed to vote there. And at one point when he's in Denver and he's probably not very happy with the place, he goes to vote, and a lady there challenged his vote, said he's not from there. And he gets real pissed about that, and he says, that's it, I'm done with Denver.
Fuck Denver.
Never come to this shithole town again.
Can't breathe here anyways.
Something to that effect.
Go ahead. This party sucks.
And you farted? And he writes of Denver, he said, this town is the worst in the country.
In the Denver Gazette.
Oh, God.
Is it in a Denver paper?
It just says the Denver Times,
Yeah.
I believe.
He hated Denver so much, he moved there for 6 months to start a newspaper that had one issue.
He did say he'd been there for over 10 years at this point, and he did
Wow. And then he decides it's the worst town in the country?
I live in a shit town.
say, and he said, there ain't a sport in it. The bootblacks in Chicago have more sport and blood in their veins than the whole push of Denver sports. It's actually the cheapest town I was ever in. It is filled with a lot of bluffers and hoodlums and robbers and fakers. Or keers. And everyone is trying his best to skin his neighbor. Nothing is done on the square if there's a crooked way to do it, and the man who skins his neighbor often is during the year is a great man in the community.
Oh, my God.
Holy
Denver?
Lord. Seem like a lovely people. A lot of breweries.
He does right. I've been here over 20 years, and I've not have stayed over 20 minutes had not been for my wife's health.
Okay, yeah. Sure, Chief.
She loves the mountains.
It's the air. It's good for her.
I hope no one thinks I've been living in this rotten place because I loved it or because I was making money here because I had no other place on earth to go. I would not live with such a lot of stiffs in 10 minutes if I had my own way. It's so lame.
Jesus
so worried
Christ.
about what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so,
What are
yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, it's very needy.
Just go.
It's very needy.
Did he post it on Truth Social?
I hope you don't think I'm here because I like it. What?
Well, with the clean air and glorious vistas,
Yeah.
bustling art scene. World-class cuisine.
Yeah, so I was in the Denver Times, so I can't imagine.
Robust public transit. I hate it. This place sucks. I'm only here because the Wi-Fi invented for this story is sick.
No, he did have a wife. She's not mentioned much.
God damn it.
But I guess it seemed like, according
Well, she'll be voting in no time.
in the chapter about the women in the book.
Oh, he's got a whole chapter on women?
Yeah,
Cool.
she people do seem to like her, and she seems to be a good
Oh,
sport
good.
and a nice lady. There's almost nothing, very little known.
No, people like the wife of a violent lunatic. How weird.
So
I love his wife.
He's a son of a bitch, but she's lovely.
So after Denver, he moves to New York City, where he's quickly arrested for being in a fixed faro game. But who knows if it's real? Nothing comes of that. His pistol, his favorite pistol, is taken and never returned, and maybe auctioned. No one's sure what happened to it. I believe
We'll find out.
he was very sad about that
I bet.
because he had that. It fit his.
Oh, yeah. It was tailored to the man.
Bespoke.
Yeah. He was instead charged with carrying a concealed weapon. And so he's still reffing fights and being a judge at fights and timing fights. He was actually hired to be the timekeeper for Jack Johnson and Jess Willard when they fought. I believe that might have been the one in Cuba. I'm not sure. But it was a fight of the decade, fight of the year, heavyweight battle. Yeah. Jack Johnson and Jess Willard and Bat Masterson. There's even some. He appears on a video for it.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is new tech, Aaron.
Yeah, video.
They had just gone to Betamax at this point.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, that is the Undertaker from Back to the Future 3. Look.
Yeah.
So that's Jack Johnson in the middle wearing a dandy suit. The guy who does the voiceover on this is like, just back from traveling the world, Jack Johnson looking dandy in his suit, and here's Jess Willard in his he's like basic normal suit.
Yeah. Slob outfit. Common slob attire.
The timekeeper for the upcoming fight takes a bow. It's none other than Bat Masterson, the
30 years
fabled
old.
Western gunfighter and marshal. As you can see, he must have used the toupee for his TV appearances.
What the fuck? I
Shame.
know.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. You know, suddenly all them newspaper editorials came back to haunt me. They got these talkies now where they can just say
Shit.
They can just shit talk you.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. And even people that can't read understand.
So he's doing a lot of that. And then in 1903, he is approached by that man Lewis, who got kind of famous for writing about all of his stories, being a reporter himself. And Lewis says, "Hey, well, why don't you write for the paper?" And he gets hired for the Morning Telegraph. And he writes about just his stories about the people he met. He writes his opinions of things that have been happening. And
They're all very progressive.
My opinions on race.
Here's my new take on what is quote unquote progress.
And through Lewis, he gets published in Human Life magazine, which was an important magazine at the time.
Not fucking that the spin-off Martian Life. Very non-alien life magazine.
Yeah. Use his part. My contribution to human life is how to take it. How to really just quash it.
That's what this is about, right?
And so he writes for Human Life. He writes for the Morning Telegraph, and he writes biographies of the Wild West guys he knew.
Yeah.
Which was really huge at that time because that was all done with. America had moved on.
Right. But the stories would sell like crazy.
Exactly. And so he had personal opinions and had met most of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wrote about fights. And this went on, and then he had let's see here. He was appointed by Teddy Roosevelt as well. He was deputy U.S. Marshal.
Okay.
Appointed because of Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
And that went on for a few years. And at one point, he was in Washington, and Roosevelt invited him to make an appearance with him, and Bat chickened out.
What?
And
Did something bad happen?
No.
Oh, because normally when
No,
it
he
doesn't show up,
he just didn't. There was gonna be a reception, and Bat said, "No, I wouldn't fit in with that sort of thing." And a friend offered him some fancy clothes to wear, and he said no. And then he just said, "Nah, I'll leave." And they just left town, and he sent a wire to the president saying, "I ain't going to attend any reception. I'm heading east. Bat Masterson."
Wow.
I don't know. Make that of what you will, but
Well, Hayes didn't help.
Rutherford B.
Yeah. I remember his eyebrows hitting the top of his forehead and him going, "Holy fucking shit. Can you believe people live like that?"
Guys, I pranked the president. I made him throw me a whole party and everything, then I just up and left. That's the kind of stuff I like. Those are the kind of pranks I pull now.
And he went back to writing, and so here I'm going to read you a couple of things that I've noted that he wrote, good or bad. On Sophisticated New Yorkers, he wrote, "This is the biggest boob town in America."
I mean, these things are huge. If you like tits, come to the Big Apple, baby.
Metrosexuals. I mean, they all look like they're Romulans or something.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Makes me feel weird on the inside.
I don't like having to ask what kind of gender they might be or anything like that.
He continues, "All of these hokum peddlers need to do when they contemplate selling All any of these hokum peddlers need to do when they contemplate selling New Yorkers a bill of their phony goods is to ask what they want, and they'll be sure to get it."
Meanwhile, you know what it is. It's simple hokum.
Lady gay.
Oh,
All these
God.
hokum peddlers.
Now, maybe the lady gay. It doesn't matter. It's still 100% pure hokum.
Like snake oil. Hokum.
Pick your poison, Chief.
God damn it. This is about Americans. The American public is without a doubt the biggest aggregation of sapheads in the world.
All right, pretty good stuff.
On his personal critics as he was preparing to leave for vacation. "My legion of anonymous correspondents are hereby notified that my address for the next 2 or 3 weeks will be the Thousand Island House, Alexandria Bay, New York. Letters from this species of vermin are always welcome. As all mail for the Thousand Island House is thoroughly disinfected before leaving the post office at Alexandria Bay, the guests of the hotel are no danger of being contaminated by the insidious poison these vile communications carry."
Oh, my God. That's pretty good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Want to talk some shit?
Less good. You want to hear what he thought about the people of China?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
An industrious people. Poised, gracious, and graceful.
Well, I mean, you're not totally wrong. The Chinese as a race are said to be the most honest people in the world. But who in the name of common sense would want to be a Chinaman?
I mean, I listened to a podcast the other day about penis sizes, and Lord,
I don't like. What the?
they're said to be great, but who in their right mind would want to be Chinese?
What does that
Like,
mean?
it's a choice.
Like his editor's like, "All right, Masterson, 250 words on China."
I mean, why would you?
Why would you choose to be Chinese?
What does that mean?
I'd rather be a notorious liar and a white man in a bowler cap.
I mean, I would pretend to be an Eskimo if I was a Chinese. I'd move to Alaska and put on a big old fur coat and say my name was Tuk Tuk.
We could invite a doctor out there. Just have him deliver a full, thoughtful speech and then point and laugh at him.
Yeah, we'll put him in an igloo.
Brick by brick in ice.
But, he's a wee bit of a curmudgeon, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would say a wee bit.
Who would want to be Chinese?
What the fuck?
He hasn't said a nice thing in print ever. A wee bit of a curmudgeon.
No, he does have nice things to say about some people.
Oh,
he says about mainly about fighters.
Oh yeah, fighters.
He did like boxers.
Okay.
Good guys beat the shit out of each other for a living. Good solid guys.
I don't like Doc Holliday. Wyatt likes him, but I just saw him do a lot of choking and killing. He would be coughing, and he would be killing in between the coughing.
I had him he filled the cavity of mine. He coughed right into my open mouth.
It's so funny. When he wasn't coughing, he was killing men. And God forbid he was healthy, because then he'd do dental work. It was maybe the goriest of all. Never mind him choking up blood or...
If he doesn't kill you with his gun, the tuberculosis he coughs straight into your gullet will.
You gotta be open-mouthed over Doc Holliday.
So during the day he would write for the newspaper. At night he would go to the bars, and people would crowd around to hear him tell stories of all the old West tales. Damon Runyon, who's been mentioned, that's how I heard of this guy from the from what is it, Guys and Dolls. Yeah. Because Masterson is one of the characters in there.
Oh no!
David Runyon would become a friend of his and loved his tales, and so
Interesting.
And then he once went back to Dodge City during this time, and he didn't recognize it anymore. I think he basically just got off the train and then got back
Biff
on.
Tannen Casino, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah. I walked into a Quiznos. Didn't know what the fuck was happening.
It used to be a Subway when I was here. Boy, times sure are changing. Well,
At least it's toasted.
And in 1921, October 25th, he's writing a story, and at the office, or he had a cold for the previous week, and he older guy at this point, and someone stopped in and said, "Hey, how you doing with that cold?" He said, "I'm fine. I just got a little more writing to do."
Mind your business. My new column's about people not minding their business.
Yeah.
I mean, these people fucking ask you anything. Hey, are you okay, sir?
fuck out of here.
He's fully New York at this point. Why don't you suck my dick instead of asking me how I'm doing? I'll be doing great if you would suck my dick. How about that? You think about that before you ask me that? Am I ready to suck this guy's dick if he's not doing great? No, you didn't. Now get the fuck out of here.
Or get to sucking.
So it was Titanic.
Suck the bat's dick.
It
Oh my
was
God.
it was Guys and Dolls, and Titanic Thompson was the character was based on him, but the name was Sly Masterson. But it was 1921, October 25th. The newspaper worker goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And Masterson said, "I'm doing fine. I got to finish this column." And he writes this about a fighter. He writes, Lou Tendler Received a little more than $12,000 for a scrap with Rocky, Kansas at the Garden a week ago. Not so bad for a job like that. No wonder these birds are flying high when they get that kind of money for an hour's work. Just think of an honest, hard-working farmer laboring from daylight to dark for 40 years of his life. And lucky if he finishes with as much as one of those birds gets in an hour. Yet there are those who argue that everything breaks even in this old dump of a world of ours. I suppose these ginks who argue that way hold that because the rich man gets ice in the summer and the poor man gets it in the winter, that things are breaking even for both. Maybe so, but I'll swear I can't see it that way. And then he dies.
Wow.
Yeah.
He types that out.
Yeah.
Ginks?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds.
Well, it's like nerds. It's like
okay.
geeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
The experts.
Yeah. You seen the dawn of the ginks.
Yeah.
A lot of ginks saying a lot of shit.
I'm once hit a watch in my ass to keep it away from the ginks.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. Yep.
What does it mean?
We just went over what it means.
Okay, well then that's where he hit his watch for. Them.
The pundits,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the experts.
The shit talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people say things. I don't know. Maybe sometimes in print.
All right. These two-faced sycophants.
Well, the rich get ice in the summer and the
Yeah.
poor in the winter.
Hey, break even.
You
Yeah,
know?
but he's doing fine at that point too.
Well, I think that's, not the
He's
bad
got
philosophy
eyes,
to
man.
have.
Yeah, he's not talking. He's not saying that about people on the reservation. They get a hard time.
No, but he's saying that just because they get that doesn't mean the world's fair.
Right.
Well, no, I think we definitely know that it's not from this whole.
Well, he was
tale.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's had his own part in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not necessarily a good
It's
guy.
all a bunch of fucking bullshit. That's the bottom line.
That's the breaks.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this?
He was almost 68. He was 67 and a half, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But, a lot of
Most
living
of
in
that
those.
shit happened before he was 28.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, yeah.
That's the legend building.
All the good stuff happened before he was 30. Like Jesus.
Or the alleged good stuff. Because it
Right.
seems like a lot of this stuff
Like
is just,
Jesus.
Yeah. 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 That one time Jesus fucking brought the heat.
Remember that one time Jesus pranked Pontius Pilate? Like,
How did
the
that
whole
go?
crowd was there watching him get crucified. Guess what comes back 3 days later? It was a good prank. Good prank.
Yeah.
Christ.
It was funny. It's funny. He's like, why don't you suck my dick? Yeah. He's I wouldn't say a good guy.
No, but
Not-
it's interesting to see him. He kind of straddled that like two eras.
Yes.
Wild
very.
West to modernity, talking about boxers at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Going from like slaughtering buffalo and humans to like, now I'm fucking Bill Simmons.
Yeah. It is one of those things like where we talk about like the generation that saw the Wright brothers and the moon landing,
Right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, cars driving around New York while, around that time.
And also like the thing of those legends and most of them manufactured, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They serve as this pre-Hollywood. Because then it is also like the things that still, by the time they're getting made, it's at least 50 years after it happened in Hollywood, right? And those are the stories everybody wants to go to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it's
Show us the shit we just missed.
and it's so alluring to the Europeans as well. Of
course.
I told you my dad was like growing up in Ireland, and it was like we would see westerns, and it was like you just felt like you were watching people on the edge of civilization.
Which they were, not the actors, but that time.
Right? Yeah.
No rules, no law.
It was and I think is there a thing there where you go like, okay, well, we have to have heroes because it's so scary, and it is such a law of the jungle abyss that we have to be like, oh no, we can't say it's that way.
I don't know how conscious that is, like the master plan of like, oh, we gotta I just think people.
No, I think is it not a conscious plan in a propaganda way, but is it a natural thing about storytelling?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that you go like, oh, I like him.
Yeah.
And you go like, oh no, he murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. He would do it without thinking. People liked him for doing it.
Yeah.
And you're going like, wait,
Sounds right. Math checks out.
You're like, no.
Who did he kill? The right people. Okay.
Yeah.
great. Okay. Great,
Yeah.
great.
And the other people were scary, right?
Yeah, 'cause they killed the wrong people.
Yes.
Did he ever abuse his power for his friends?
Well,
Yeah, but it was for his friends.
Yeah.
They're the good people.
Okay, good. All right, we can get behind that.
Yeah. And sometimes he got drunk too, but everybody did back then.
Yeah.
And he would kill the wrong people.
And if
and it would be fucked up. But remember all that other stuff?
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff.
that's the good stuff.
And then sometimes he just did wrong things.
Just
dead up wrong, like, really
Yeah.
But we won't
grievous.
talk about it.
No.
It's not big. Yeah, that was then. That was
Yeah.
now.
One time he shot a man just to watch him die, for instance.
And he got
Postman.
then he got bored and he missed it.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a wild tale.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting fascinated, how these places get started and then continue, and
Oh
the
my
it's
God,
so
yeah.
chaotic. We have
And
to
being aware of your own legend
yeah.
is also a bit of a new thing back then.
Sure, yeah.
Because you have the telegraph
Communication, yeah.
and well, I guess you could call it mass media, but
A news-
there's
A newspaper.
yeah, there's a newspaper going around, and then there's telegraph, so you can tell the president that you didn't want to show up. To the voting,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
While he's still in office and alive.
Also, how about this too? Like the idea of like, basically like Dodge City basically being like a modern like Sodom. Like,
Right.
like to go there and
Yeah.
you go like, do you want to go to Dodge? And you're like, do you?
Right.
What do you want to go
You can
for?
kill someone while having sex with a hooker, and plus it smells like shit.
It's really like a crazy thing. Where you go like, oh well, it just invites high octane people.
Right. It attracts.
Well, you can imagine that there's modern versions of that sort of thing of going like
Everywhere.
this is where the cool people go, and you're like, man, these people are exhausting to talk to.
By the way,
and I don't trust them with anything.
Yeah, that is also what we still trade on the reputation of Vegas for.
Yeah.
Lawlessness.
Yeah.
And depravity.
Debauchery.
The deviancy, of course.
Yeah. And you got to get out of there.
Yeah. You gotta leave.
Yeah.
Go, but leave.
Yeah.
The leaving is where it's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a movie about
They did.
leaving.
Oh yeah.
Big hit.
Yeah.
Whatever happened?
The
Did
big
they
hit.
make it?
It's a feel-good movie.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Disney.
Not.
No. Yeah. No. It's I mean,
It's an American Tale.
Mm-hmm.
it's an American Tale.
Yeah, very
It'd be
much.
nice to hear from the wife a little bit to see
Yeah.
what's going on there, but also.
I mean, yeah.
Man.
I don't know. She was with him for like 40 years or so.
40?
Yeah, 30, 40. Yeah, I don't know.
And she's got a page?
Well, she gets a little bit of a chapter.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think there's any writing from her or any, but she was liked by his other friends' wives. I don't know.
That's history.
Yeah, that's how it goes. What was your big takeaway about the guy, man?
A real, well,
It's a cowboy.
I appreciated him standing up his friends. I don't appreciate the
The
You know,
wanton slaughter.
the shitty way of doing it. And also, like, if you don't like Doc Holliday, just because you're friends with Wyatt Earp doesn't mean you have to get him out of trouble.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah. He was doing guy code.
Yeah, he was helping out a broke.
I think he's kind of like the ultimate man of his time.
Yeah.
Most men weren't murderous, insane people riding into Dodge City and causing trouble.
Yeah.
He wasn't either. He was a guy who basically, even his racist views of his time, not the only guy thinking that, not appropriate, should be better
Well,
about it.
he was
but-
open to being wrong. He was like,
Yeah.
who in their right mind would want to be Chinese? Well,
Yeah.
tell me.
yeah.
I thought Matt was going to say even his racial views stood the test of time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
Like a billion people want to be Chinese.
still right to this day. A lot of people.
yeah. The way he was prescient. Yeah.
I know. I got an email from
I got an email.
that can only prove it.
Yeah.
No, he seems like he's an interesting character who his fame made him bigger than he might have probably only killed one guy.
Yeah.
And all of the tall tales, he became this name that a name I didn't even know. Wyatt Earp I knew, but that's only because of movies.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of sad and very embarrassing when we look at it in history, where you go back and you find out that like Buffalo Bill or whatever was doing stage shows about his own life.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
You think about it and you go like,
it's kind of cool.
but you know that most of that's bullshit.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's playing up
Yeah,
his own
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
The later years of his life.
Yeah, and there's Buffalo Bill and who else? Am I conflating the two?
No, Buffalo Bill's a big one.
He's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, he's the Deadwood one, right?
I watched Deadwood.
Hmm?
But he's Buffalo.
Dead Man's Hand?
Oh, yeah.
Deadwood.
The TV show Deadwood.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Hand. Aces and Eights.
Yeah. But, yeah, Buffalo Bill Cody was. Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking Wild Bill Hickok?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the Dead Man's Hand. He was the one in
Oh.
Deadwood.
Yeah, Bill Hickok is the one I believe in Deadwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
That's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think he also, like, they were all doing that because of, like you said, that time change.
Yeah.
Where it was like, you kind of survived and you were like, sort of a badass. And, like, there's a weird thing, too, or, like, what do we think about those guys? Like, they all share in common this thing where, like, they don't end up being president and they don't end up being dead or,
Right.
in jail.
Right.
And they end up as, like, a moderately successful businessman.
No, a very successful business. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it would happen later with a future profile like Audie Murphy, who was like this, like farm boy turned the most decorated war hero in World War II, like living legend war hero, comes back and then plays himself in the movie of his life.
Yeah.
And then you find out alcoholic, pill popping, like plagued by PTSD, violent, like son of a bitch. But like, it is on paper, it's pretty cool.
right.
Yeah.
But it it's kind of depressing when you're just a parody of yourself at the end of your life.
Yeah. But in these situations, I think there's a thing too, which is it goes to the fear I feel when I hear these stories, and I think about the lawlessness, and I do think about a Lord of the Flies nature to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a thing where, like in Game of Thrones, they said power resides where men believe it resides, but where you believe it resides is halfway between your fears and your hopes.
Right.
So there's a thing where you go like, in my fears, I go with the gang. And I go with the guys that like I just want to be on the side of the strongman, but my hopes make me go like, is there a strongman that actually comes in and is just fair sometimes in case I'm on the wrong side of justice,
Right.
which is or the law of the jungle justice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this thing where characters like this are that exact thing.
Mm.
They're kind of motherfuckers, and that means it's that thing of like when we watch shows like that, we go like, well, you need to be a kind of a motherfucker to really hold shit down
Right.
when things are raw.
Yeah.
But also you can't be a greedy piece of shit that's like, and I get to fuck all the wives. You know what I
You can't be
mean?
a cult leader.
Yeah.
Right.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, John.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There is a thing there where you go like, in these situations, guys like Wyatt Earp, like none of them, Bill Hickok, Buffalo, none of them. We go like good guy.
Yeah.
We don't think good guy,
Right.
but we do think good enough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
the
a
hero they deserved.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is it. It was the heroes because they were also shitty people.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pleasures were simple. I like to get drunk. Occasionally, I'd like to stab a man.
And prank a few MDs.
I mean, hey. And also, look at what he wrote about the.
Yeah.
Insert race to that.
Yeah.
Most honest people. But Jesus.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Some of the best people I've ever heard of in this world.
But I got one question.
Why would you choose
Come on.
on God's green earth?
And there's just a guy going, huh, yeah, oh, huh, yeah.
You know, he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wow, huh.
They are good people. But I mean, seriously.
It's just...
Yeah, it was not the hottest take.
No.
Not
Every interaction I have had with them has been upstanding and forthright, punctual, industrious, wonderful people. But I have one question.
It's just one more thing.
Not to,
One more thing.
There's one thing I'm confused about. Is that-
Excuse me. Yeah. Whoa.
Well, Matt, that was a great profile, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that a
I
lot.
like it a lot.
You like
Yeah.
that fucking shit?
I do like
I thought you might enjoy that thing.
Gentlemen, this is wonderful.
Mhm.
I love you both.
You too.
Thank you, Matt.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
I'm going to say goodnight. I love you. My name is John Fahey.
I'm Aaron Pita.
Grab your soap.
Good night, everybody. We love you. Oh, fucking God.